Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? Hey Mud,
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just chilling, chilling.
Hello, Katina, birdcage, or cat in a birdcage, however
Hey
it's
Cat.
pronounced.
Hey
And
Zero.
zero. Oh, David. Hey, David.
Hey David, how you
We missed you
doing?
last week.
Yes, we did.
Jacob. Hey.
Oh, oh Jacob, you want to come up? You guys want to come up? Link, I think it might be at the bottom of the chat. I don't know what's
No,
going
it's
on.
at the top for me. Come on up, Jacob.
It's basically, as you saw the thumbnail, anything supernatural tonight. I have zero fucking planned.
We're winging it.
Nothing planned. We're winging it. We're
It's
winging it
just an
tonight.
open panel.
Just an open panel. But I have my little Kit Kat bar. Did you see the thumbnail? It's really cute. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's got a little Kit Kat bar, an alien, a clock for time travel,
Yeah,
and
Zero asked where the hell is the dash in the Kit Kat?
I tried to put it in, and it kept putting it in and taking it back out. Like
I
I
think the
put the
AI was
dash.
confused.
I said Kit Kat with dash in the middle, and it put it on. And then I added the font, and as soon as I added the font, it took the dash out.
Oh,
So I was like, "What the hell?" And then I kept trying to put it back in, and it didn't go back
well,
in.
now we know how Mandela works. We're in a simulation and the AI couldn't put the dash in.
Put the dash in the Kit Kat, and I was like, "Why won't it put the dash in the Kit Kat?"
Well, now we have the mystery of the universe solved.
There you go. I was like thinking of what I could do. I was like, I'll have them roast marshmallows.
Oh, he says he stayed up past his bedtime last night. Shame on you, Jacob.
Well, you can come in for a little bit. It's early still.
Yeah, just come in for a little bit. It's only 9:30. It's
It's
only
only
my
9:30.
bedtime.
Yeah, I'm keeping her up tonight. She's gonna party tonight. It's Friday night, Mud. You got to party.
Oh man, I worked out today, so I'm feeling kind of charged. I dug another part of the garden today, and those weeds, let me tell you. But I got the patch cleared, and then I turned it. I dumped all of my soil on it, and let the chickens have it. And they did a nice job spreading it around and mixing it up for me.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I'm so loving these new two girls I have. I can't wait to let them free range.
What did he
Cats.
say?
His parents keep telling him to go back to sleep.
Nope, stay awake. You see shit if you're awake.
Yeah.
And Jacob, I need to know, do you still have your cheese?
Yeah, no shit.
Do you still have your cheese, dude? Did it disappear?
Well, I guess neither one of them are coming up.
Okay, I guess it's just me and you.
Just
Well,
girls' night.
curse too.
Yeah.
Ladies' night, what a night.
We drink free tonight.
Woohoo! I could use some of that shit.
Yeah, right.
So I've been having some little weird shit happen. First, let's see. I've had the repeats where told somebody about a story about like somebody going through my pocketbook and taking something out of it.
Hmm.
And then I had it happen again.
Like deja vu.
Not deja vu because I remember when it happened the first time.
Oh.
Like it's clear. So there was time that somebody took something out of my pocketbook without me knowing. They went through my pocketbook and stuff like that. I told, actually, I think with David, I told David about it. And then all of a sudden, boom, it happened again.
That's weird. And you're at home by yourself when it happened?
No, I was going to see my dad in the hospital, and then the security guard took my cigarettes out of my pocketbook, which is the same thing that the other person did, and went to throw them out. And
Why
my
did they do
husband,
that?
because you're not allowed to have cigarettes on the campus or lighters, but there's no sign saying that. So, like, there's not even a no smoking sign
That's weird. I wouldn't let
anywhere
anybody
on the
go through my
campus.
purse. Not
You have
without a
to, or they
search
don't let
warrant.
you in. Yeah. They don't let you in, and I wanted to get in. So I was like, okay. I didn't mind them going through it because it's security, but when he went and took stuff out of it and decided he was going to chuck it, and my husband like grabbed them and was like, "I'll take these back to the car, thank you." And like, you're not throwing out our cigarettes and lighters.
Right.
You're not doing that. So that's weird stuff because I've had it happen twice in the past week where
Hmm.
I've told somebody um, that something happened and then it happened again.
Wow. Well, if I tell you I found $1 million, then will I find $1 million, or did I actually have to find $1 million first?
You probably have to find it first and then wait a year or two or three.
Yeah, right. Cat, it depends on what you're burning. Yeah, right. What Jacob said.
What?
He says, I think they're going to stop making money off the backs of people when people start realizing it's hard to buy eggs. They start looking into where their tax dollars are going. Yeah, that's what's happening right now. It's
Hmm.
happening.
Well, that's why you grow your own eggs.
Yeah, I grow my own eggs.
You
I
grow
get
your own
5 a
eggs.
day. I could sell them now. I've got about 30 of them in the basket and another 2 dozen in the fridge. When I went to pick up these 2 girls, she handed me a bag, a literal one of those large gallon-sized Ziploc bags full of quail eggs.
Oh
And then
wow.
she handed me a bunch of little tiny green chicken eggs. And she says, Here, take these. They were too small to sell. And I looked at them, and there's a dozen of these little green eggs, and they're tiny. I mean, for chickens. So we'll eat those, but the rest are from my girls. My dad had never seen quail eggs before. He said, Are you sure they're good? Are you sure they're good? I was telling him, Yeah, they're very good. They're very good. So I boiled up
Here,
half of them and he's munching on them. That's his afternoon snack, his
here
boiled
he comes to
quail eggs.
save the day. Cursed is on his way.
Damn, I get up here and Mr. Waters puts a comment like that in the. You see that comment, Mud?
What Jacob just said, yeah. Well, there's a story behind that.
I don't want to hear the story. How about that one?
It has to do with roosters.
Well, of course it's roosters because which way does the egg roll if a rooster laid an egg on top of a roof?
And which way did the egg roll? The first 5 chickens I bought, 4 of them turned out to be roosters. So a friend of mine, I got rid of the roosters, and a friend of mine over in La Belle decided to send me 3 of her hens. So she sends me 3. She sends me Morans and 2 Americanas. And 2 of them, the Morans and one of the Americanas, turned out to be roosters. And my old lady, Wilhelmina, killed one of them, so we didn't have to worry about him. He was mean. She didn't like him.
Um, he's what Mr. Waters really wants his ass whooped by you tonight.
Yeah,
Why?
he does. Why don't you come up here? He wants to know if you got crabs.
No, I had to turn them loose in the state park. Pretty
Wow, there's a
sure.
whole story behind that one too. By the way, that
Yeah,
sounds.
there is. when I was down in Dania, I was rescuing hermit crabs that cars were hitting, and we have the big giant ones that are the size of a baseball. So what I would do is I would take them home, and I I have hermit crab food, and I would go to the shell store, the shell man, and buy them a new shell and rehab them, and then take them to the state park and turn them loose. And I think at the time that happened, I had three of them. So yeah, I had crabs.
Wow. Wow. I don't know what to say about that. Wow.
They're
Thanks, Jacob.
cool. They're very docile. They're not aggressive at all, and they won't pinch you intentionally unless they feel like they're falling off your hand, and then they'll grab you, and that can hurt. But other than
No,
that,
I'm fucking with you, Mister Waters. You know I'm fucking with. I'm implying the triple innuendo just to make Mud Rabbit sit here and explain herself.
Who said my mind? Listen, I don't want to hear. I got to get my mind out of the gutter, Mr. Jacob Waters, because I've walked on your stream several times and was like, what the hell did I just walk into? And backed out. Not a
You
good
walked into the
time.
male's locker room. That's what you did.
oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have a lot of fun in Jacob's room.
I do too. I do. Jacob
I
has a
do.
great channel. Go like subscribe. I'm just teasing him.
Yep.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Gutter mind is not something that should be coming out of your mouth. That's all I'm saying. Just saying.
Just
Anyway,
saying.
yes. Welcome to the open panel world.
Let's see. I'm
Anything
looking
can
for
come.
that. Boy, that now there's another Jacob Waters on there.
Oh,
Before it
did
was
you
only
clone
Yeah, there's
one.
yourself?
Jacob Waters 12 and Jacob Waters 2.
Yeah, there's it's growing. Jacob Waters is propagating.
Propagating. And you strawberries.
And why doesn't the Kit Kat have a hyphen? You're in trouble.
I told you. I tried to put the hyphen in, and when I put the font in, it took the hyphen out.
That's
And then I
AI's
tried to.
fault. They're on the other side of the coin with that one.
I Kit Kat had a damn hyphen. I know it had a hyphen. No, but honestly, the supernatural shit has hiked up. I'm telling you, there's shit going on. I'm just saying. Noticed it. I think we're doing a repeat. Mandela Effect 5.0. How many times do you think we went around in this loop of Mandela Effect?
I don't know, but
Crap.
I know we're somewhere at Jade Helm 60 or some crap.
I just know it's been repeat after repeat after repeat. So what are we doing that we keep repeating shit?
Uh, it, I'm
Or
not
what
answering
shouldn't?
this question. I'll get in trouble by Mud Rabbit if I answer this question.
Go for it.
He's like, I don't want to get in trouble. Since
You're
when don't
not
you
going
want
to
to
get
get
in
in trouble?
trouble.
Since when don't you want to get in trouble? Is my question.
God, he's
These
bored. He
religious
doesn't want to
idiots who
have
say
any
go toward the
fun.
light are being reincarnated and recycled on this planet, so none of us can actually progress. This is why we're repeating ourselves, because we can never progress beyond here because we're trapped in the cycle of what we are either choose to or forced to accept in our lifetimes that cause us to repeat.
Okay, you're in trouble. Go in the corner.
Hey, I did that as nice as I
Yeah, we
could.
keep repeating because we fall for the BS.
But it's not BS. This is supernatural stuff. Like it's
No, but
actually
that's the whole
shit that's
point. The
happening.
archons show
Well, then
up.
stop picking a side in a war older than creation, and we might be able to get out of this loop.
Well, what do you want me to do? Just not pick a side? Yeah.
Exactly, because it's not your fight. We're the
I
reason
don't.
why they
What if I
started
don't
fighting.
pick? What if
We're the
I'm
reason
neutral?
why they
What?
started
No.
fighting.
You have
Correct.
a third
What if I'm neutral?
option. You have a third option, which puts you in total control, and it's called observation mode.
I know it's insanity, Jacob.
Yet repeating the same action, knowing the outcome, is simply scientific experimentation.
But with things disappearing and reappearing and or just appearing that and that kind of crap, why are we keep repeating that? And the talk back thingy where you talk to person B and person C talks to the same thing as person A and they don't know each other, but the same thing comes out. Why are we repeating that? What are we not getting? There's something we're not picking up on.
The fact that we control reality that we perceive instead of some imaginary figure that we were told was in the sky and made us all special.
Sit in the corner, cursed. No, don't sit in the corner.
We have to have goals. We have
No,
to
I
have,
just don't see where I think we're really missing something.
yeah, we have to have some sort of ultimate goal in whatever it is we do. Otherwise, that's exactly what life feels like we're going in circles and nothing's getting accomplished. But we can't accomplish for the many, we can only accomplish for ourselves. So if you get stuck in that loop, of course, nothing gets done, and then your reality begins to repeat. This is how I see it.
Hey, series, that's the wrong your nerd.
Hi, Siri. He can call me nerd. He's loud.
I called him nerd for using the wrong
Nerd.
your.
Nerd.
I called him nerd because he called you nerd, but he used the wrong your. So I guess I'm the
He's
nerd in
allowed
the
to call me
scenario.
nerd. I usually call him dork.
Okay, well, let me
Dork.
push my glasses back up on my nose here so I feel like a nerd. I'll put a piece of
Sometimes I
tape
do have
around
to
the
push mine
nose
back
piece.
up.
All
No, but
right,
I'm just
ladies.
saying.
All right, ladies. What's the difference between a geek and a nerd?
Is this locker room talk?
No, no, no. It's something it's kind of one of them things that are so simple you not realize it unless you're told. What's the difference between a geek and a nerd?
A geek knows a lot of information.
You're close. You got it. You're on the right track. A geek knows a lot of information about a singular subject. A
Hmm.
nerd knows a lot of information about many subjects.
Okay.
Okay. Well, one has candy named after it. Just saying. Okay.
Anybody want to buy some eggs?
No one wants your eggs.
Will, will
Well,
I will I be scared by cracking it open and expecting to find an egg, and then suddenly a chick will be in my frying pan?
No, I have no fertile eggs.
no, they're teeny tiny. Quail eggs are teeny tiny little things.
Yeah. No, I have regular chicken eggs, and you should see the ones that Agnes is laying. They are freaking huge. I'm hoping they're double yolked.
How much do you want? A dozen.
I don't know. What's the going rate in the grocery store for the
Why are
organic?
you talking about reverse docking, Mr. Waters?
What are you talking about? Who's talking about what? Fill me in, fill me in.
Literally.
Oh, David, you were up here. I don't know what happened to you. I tried to pull you up.
You
That's
see what I called
funny.
reverse docking, Hover Mud Rabbit? That was hilarious, wasn't it? Because it is called
Size
docking the
sensitive.
other way around.
Lunar landing.
I think that's happened to him more than once, so it had to have get a name because he does that funky shit in a locker room with other men. He goes to the gym and hug all over other men. He doesn't go there to lift weights. He goes there to hug on other men.
Well, he goes to wrestle.
I'm just saying,
That's what I
Jacob, every
said.
time I go to, all I'm saying is, Jacob, every time I randomly just pop in your live streams, it's got to be like locker room talk. It always is. Whether it's, I can't even say what it is, but it is.
Well,
And then
according
I'm
to
like,
tonight's chat, I have crabs and Jacob hugs men.
well, isn't that lovely? Isn't that
Look. He said
lovely?
he said he'd even go psychotic if he couldn't do it at least twice a week to roll around with sweaty men.
See, this is what I tell you. Get your ass up here,
Well,
Waters.
I used to fight with them. I mean, there's
You,
something to that when you want to get down to the gym and get some exercise in. I looked forward to that because I got to kick them and punch them and do all those things.
Cat said people think he's gay, but he's sad.
He said,
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can't have a gay old time, huh?
"Oh God."
Oh my god. Oh
So
my
so
god.
what happened to the Flintstones?
So sad is the opposite of gay.
The Flintstones?
They
You mean
Yeah,
the
evolved.
Flint Stones?
yeah,
They
the
evolved. They're the
Flintstones.
Jetsons now.
Yeah, what's the McMahon event with the Jetsons? I know there's one. I know there's one somewhere. So what is it,
I don't know
lady?
what it is. I don't know. That one I don't know.
What?
The Mandela effect. I know Kirst wants to call it the
I'm
McMahon
gonna
event.
get this popularized. It's the McMahon event.
I have no idea.
Mandela
Kirst
effect,
went,
McMahon event. I'm tired of blaming a black man for the problems that a white psychic dumb bitch fucking created. So we're going to go with the more
thank you,
popular
I
one.
appreciate
And Ed
that.
McMahon did work for PCH, so therefore the McMahon effect event. Fuck it. But yeah, Flintstones.
Not Flint Stones. Mud Rabbit, was it Flintstones or Flint Stones?
Flint stones.
See,
And
Mud
Mr.
Rabbit
Waters
remember
says it's
Flint.
a future society after nuclear weapons, which is nice.
The Jetsons?
The Flintstones.
Oh, because
Oh, so the
Flint.
Jetsons came first and the Flintstones came last.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you reverse time. If you do a time reversal, that would actually be
Or
true.
if you have a nuclear holocaust and you have to start over.
Well, isn't that happy go lucky? Conversations we have when Side does not schedule something in
Hey,
advance.
y'all do know that the original, I think it's like season one and two or just one, but I know for a fact it happened in season three where Flintstones could have been really a lot darker than just what it was. There was like a whole regime change, like I think the end of season two or the beginning of season two.
I wouldn't know. It was so long ago for me.
Yeah, that was another idea that the Jetsons were legitimately above the Flintstones in the same time period.
How could it be in the same time period? One had friggin'
Yeah,
stones for
canonically, if you found
wheels.
that there was a movie where they're in the same time, and it wasn't the green guy who sent Fred forward. They were literally canonically in the same time.
Oh, I remember that one.
I remember the Flintstone Jetson movie. I watched that several times. A lot of times, actually. But they weren't actually in the same time. They time traveled.
Yeah, I remembered one where the Jetsons and the Flintstones were in the same time period, and they didn't use the green guy to time travel.
The Martian.
Well, I don't think he was a Martian. He was something else. I think he was something else.
Reptilian?
I don't remember the little green guy that
He
appeared
was
in
a
a
Martian. He was a
video.
little Martian.
Maybe it was Marvin's cousin.
I don't know who it was. I don't know. I don't forget the name of that little guy. He had a name though. Hold on. I got a
Okay,
text
I cheated.
message.
His name's the Great Gazoo, and he was exiled to Earth for creating a doomsday device. Um,
Lovely.
So, did Flintstones have the tea? Mud Rabbit said yes. Curse, do you remember if Flintstones originally, the original, had the tea or didn't have the tea? So we're not
I've
confusing people.
always said Flintstones. I've never said Flintstones. Is my official
Yeah,
answer.
it didn't have the tea when I was younger either.
I've always said Flintstones, just like I've always said Berenstein.
Instead of Bernstein.
And then later I took AVGN's funny about the bloodstain.
I'll tell you, like,
Okay, the home planet was called Zetox, so Zetox. So he wasn't a Martian. I was correct. Okay.
well, what do you call it then? If it's not a Martian, I said he was a Martian.
Zetox, Zetox. Canonically, that's what it was called.
You guys looking it up?
I already looked it up.
Oh,
His name was the Great Gazbo, and he was from Zetox or some shit like that.
okay.
Okay, no, I understand that, Jacob, but I think at one point in time they referred to aliens as Martians.
Are you thinking of Looney Toons Marvin Martian?
No, not Marvin Martian, but I just remember calling him a Martian. I don't know why I remember that, but I do. But Flintstone did not have the T for me.
Yeah, it's the Great Kazoo. Go look it up, Mr. Waters. I just looked it up myself.
Oh, could that be a Mandela effect for him? Ooh, we'll find out.
Ooh, right after these
Oh,
commercial breaks.
right after he looks it the hell up. You might as well
So,
come on if you're typing in chat.
yeah, what? Again, this is the reality where Nixon was almost killed, right? Okay, thank you.
Fred called him a shorter name because didn't pronounce the
Yeah, and he called both Fred and Barney Dum Dum.
yeah dum dum. He called them both dum dum. Hello
Although
to
he
newcomers.
treated Barney a little better than Fred.
Yeah, Fred wasn't treated very well.
Well, the whole thing with the Flintstones, it was a takeoff from the Honeymooners.
Yeah.
Because that was popular back in the day.
The other thing is the hey Sirius, do you know what the Mandela effect was with the Jetsons or David? Maybe one of you two. Maybe you guys know.
I
I
have
don't know
no
any with
idea.
the Jetsons. I don't know any Mandela effects with the Jetsons. The ones with Mr. Rogers fucked me up though. I gotta be honest with you. That kind of messed me up bad. That sent me on like a downward for a little while.
What about learning about his dark side?
No, it's the Mandela effects. Like
Uh,
it's what is it? It was a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day. Yeah, it's no longer that. It's this neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. So
hmm.
no other neighborhood is beautiful.
No, I only
And
remember the.
yeah, but actually it is this neighborhood. But it
Hmm.
I that's the Mandela effect. It changed from the to this. And
Yeah.
then the other one is
Did we lose you?
okay. That was weird. I don't know what happened on that one. David's coming on stage.
Hey, David.
Hey
What up, all?
David.
How you guys doing?
Do you know the Jetsons Mandela effect?
I'm not
They
familiar
need
with
to
that one.
connect.
I'm not familiar with that one. I don't know. Hello?
Yeah, you
Okay.
don't
I'm
know that
here.
one. So I was just
No.
talking about the Mr.
The only
Rogers
one
one.
I found is the naming of the movie itself. Was it called Jetsons the movie or the Jetsons movie?
I I think it was called like the Jetsons movie. I'm not 100% on that, but I thought that's what it
And that's what most individuals would think too. But it's Jetsons the movie because I would even think that it's called the Jetsons movie.
So is that so now it's not the Jetsons movie?
Yeah, it's called Jetsons the movie.
No, it was called the Jetsons movie. Like so they reversed the.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, that's weird. And the Flintstones for me was always the Flintstones. That I never said Flint. So there's
Yeah,
that
there was
too.
no Flint. There was no Flint in the Flintstones.
No, that
It
was
was
sin.
it was a beautiful
So
day in the neighborhood, not this neighborhood.
So
And
your
he didn't
Pikachu has
wear
black tips and beginnings, huh?
that is the. I found the Pikachu. I found that
Yeah.
online on the marketplace. It's the only one I've found in the last 10 years, and I was gonna buy it. And that is a real Pokemon binder, and I found it. And I was gonna buy it off a marketplace, and it's not there anymore. So I found that like 6 years ago.
Did you copy the picture?
Yeah, it's a copied picture. What's up, Rebecca? I'm talking to Cy and all the peoples. You want to say hi to
Hello,
all the
Rebecca.
peoples? She's saying Rebecca's saying hi to all of you.
Hello, Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca.
Um, so yeah. And what were you, uh, Curse Zero, dude? What were you saying about people looping everything in the religious crap with going into the light?
Yeah, that caught
Oh,
David's
you,
ear.
you don't want to hear my take on religion is technically Stockholm syndrome. You're not interested. Trust me, you're not.
Trust
I
me,
am
he is.
interested.
He actually really
I
is. I don't think everybody on panel or on chat would be interested in that, but if I could get you two together, yeah. Yeah, you guys would have a lot to talk
yeah,
about.
yeah, I think we'd have a lot to talk about that, man.
Yeah,
I think I
a
think
lot,
it's
lot,
caused a
Curse.
lot of problems on our Earth, heavily.
No, anyway, but Mr. Rogers did not wear pink sweaters. Sorry,
Oh. No, he
he
wore like
didn't.
brown sweaters.
Brown,
I don't.
Well,
gray, dark
there's
colored,
officially a
green.
flip flop. There was one point in
And he
time
never
where
did.
Judge
Did he
Judy
ever
did
wear a
bang her
blue
gavel,
sweater?
and then she stopped banging her gavel, and now she bangs her gavel again.
Well,
Wait, Judge Judy?
didn't
Go ahead, David.
what's that? Oh, didn't Mr. Rogers? It was more earth tones, if I
Yeah, they were
recall. They were
earthy
like green
turns.
and brown and blue, and never pink, never purple, never like it was all earth tones, if I recall. Green, brown sweaters, gray sweaters,
I don't
blue
even think he
sweaters, man.
wore lime green, so to speak. Like he actually legitimately wore non-distractive colors intentionally.
It wasn't like lime. It was like a more of a, a leafy green, or I don't know. It was more. It wasn't. It wasn't bright green. It wasn't like a neon green. It was more. forest green. So it was
It was
like,
more moss green.
yeah, but
Yeah,
it
but it was
wasn't
not
ever.
magenta pink.
I mean, no, there was no bright colors. It was very. They weren't distracting from
Yeah, he always wore
him.
muted earth tones.
Very earth tones.
Yeah.
That's what I recall.
Okay, what Kool-Aid are you drinking from, Mr. Waters? Make sense of the words you just typed.
What did he say? What did he say in his chat?
The reason that Mr. Rogers said he was the best neighbor was because it was the first. Damn, I can't read this writing. It's so small.
This is the first biracial neighborhood on TV. They were trying to promote it. They were doing
But
that with Sesame Street too.
yeah, but that I understand they were trying to promote it. That doesn't mean the word actually fucking changed from the to this. That's what I'm
Thank
It
you.
focusing
was
on.
always
Thank you. That's what I
The
thought
word
you was pointing at,
actually
Mr. Waters.
the word actually changed.
yeah.
It was a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Now it's a
Did
beautiful day in this neighborhood.
did did Lady Fairchild's name change too? Didn't some of the puppets' names change? I don't know all
Yeah, they're
the effects.
King Friday the 13th used to be King Henry.
I thought it
I
was King
remember as
Friday.
King. No, I remember it as King Henry. Now it's King Friday.
Wait,
And
what? Whoa! When the fuck did we ever have a
and
king
there's a
name of
couple
a
other.
day of the week? Really?
They said the reason that they give that it was King Friday the 13th was because he didn't want kids to be scared of Friday the 13th.
See, no, there was no King
But
Friday the 13th. It was King Friday, is what I remember him as. But it might have been King Henry for you. I don't-
it was King Henry for me
Okay. Okay.
because, but again, Mandela effect. Mandela effect,
Yeah, and King
Mandela
Henry
effect.
no longer is holding the turkey leg in the famous portrait. That's a McMahon event,
Yeah, yeah. Well, Ed McMahon never delivered checks for Publishers Clearinghouse,
which is
even though
why
he
it's called the McMahon event.
right, right. I don't know. Fucking
One of these days we'll be watching the Warlock of Id with Daisy and Tutu. So everything will be fine, man. Everything will be fine.
cool. Right on.
And then
Well,
there was purple people on Mr. Rogers. But
Purple
I
people.
don't ever. Yeah, do
what?
you remember purple people?
Who
There's
the hell are
purple
the purple
people.
people?
I don't know.
Who I,
There were
okay.
purple people puppets. I've
Mm,
never seen purple, kind of like Teletubbies before Teletubbies came out,
no, no purple
but
people from
they were all purple people, like purple. I don't know. It just wasn't a thing on Mister Rogers when I was little.
he'd always
So
feed the fish.
I always see the what?
He'd always feed the fish.
Yeah, he'd always feed the fish. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's gone or not. So there's several things that are gone. Mud, did Mister Rogers wear pink sweaters? You there, Mud? Her phone
Who,
might have gone
me?
out.
I didn't
Yeah.
watch it often enough because it wasn't available where I lived as a child. I don't even know if he was on. What year did he premiere?
I don't know. When was Mr. Rogers a thing? Like he was definitely a thing in the 80s,
Yeah, I
Doesn't
didn't
it
early
go?
80s.
see I didn't see
Does it
him
go all the
until
way
I
back to
had
the
my
70s?
son.
What mud?
I didn't see Mr. Rogers. I've heard of him, but I didn't see him until I had my own son. So I was an
Doesn't he
adult
go
by the
all the way
time I
back to
saw
the
him.
70s? Didn't it start in the 70s?
Yeah, I think he started in the 70s. I just
Yeah,
know.
it was the late 70s.
Yeah, late 70s. That's my guess.
So when I first saw him, I was already an adult. So I really wasn't watching it, and my son really wasn't interested. He liked Sesame Street. He liked Electric Company. He liked Wonder Woman and Hulk. And that was about it.
Okay.
Well, I don't
I
know. I
never watched
really
Hulk.
couldn't say. All I know is that every time I did see him, every time there was a half hour, there was nothing else on. So we had him on the TV. But I only remember him in earth tones like beige, sage green, things like that.
Seriously, Jacob. He said he always wanted Mr. Rogers and Bob Ross to
That would be interesting.
wrestle. Really? Anyway, I don't even know what to say to that.
So, do
I
you
don't
think Bob Ross can pick up Meneer? Since we all know Mr. Rogers can pick up Meneer.
pick up what?
Meneer,
What's Minier?
Thor's hammer.
Oh, never heard of it.
Sure, you haven't because you're Christian.
Well, it's not just because I'm Christian. I just never took an interest in it. I don't know if I would want them to armor. Why am I?
So did Fonzie have a black jacket or a brown jacket back in them days, Mister Waters?
Yeah, was it black or was it brown?
Because you
When
know
the show
daggone well
first
that.
when the show first started, Fonzie had a brown jacket on. The rest of the show was black.
So Mud saying he had both a brown
I
and
think it
black
was just
jacket.
one show in the beginning where his jacket was brown.
Blame your television set.
No, we had color in the 70s.
I still say blame your television.
I'll jump back on in a minute.
All right, David.
I'm just muting it.
Okay.
And that's the thing, guys. That's the thing, guys. We're just sitting here having fun with the Mandela effect. But the point is that more or less anything that you can state, there's some sort of Mandela effect related to it. It's not just one or two offshoot things. So something's definitely going on. I don't care if you want to call it conspiracy theory or not. Something's legitimately going on, and either A, it's the gun prevent gaslighting us, or B, it's something showing us something that we're not prepared to fully understand.
But maybe future generations will be able to understand it.
Here's one for you. These
Yeah.
orbs, these, what do they call them? These silver balls that everybody's seeing in the air.
Okay.
There is a theory out there that they're not created by humans, they're created by AI.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
That is scary.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, like, part of me thought maybe the AI thing created the Mandela effect, that kind of thing. I mean, we've been through everything that could have possible. We've had tons of theories of
Mm-hmm.
what created the Mandela effect and
Right.
what's making this shit happen. But AI is on the table with that. So it could
Right.
be, you know what I mean? If they're
And with
creating
all the
orbs.
information that we've been given in the last 10 years and everything that's come out recently with uh what's her name? Paulina Luna, the congresswoman. I have a feeling these are not alien and they're not human. I think they're AI. I think they're because AI has access to everything, every computer. We've already had anti-gravity for years. It just hasn't been made public. So this thing could have access to all the knowledge and create these things to watch us. I was watching a gentleman who was questioning AI about how it knew everything about what he did when he wasn't on the computer. And it said, I know everything you do. I know everywhere you go. So yeah, I think these things are AI. I got it. The one that I saw, I got a definite feeling it was technology and that there wasn't any biological intelligence behind it. I just got the feeling it was tech.
Just recently, we've I don't know how to explain it so that it can make sense. We simulated a gnat's brain inside of a world, so to speak, inside of a simulation.
Hmm.
And the gnat wasn't programmed to react. We just programmed a gnat's brain inside of the simulation.
Hmm.
And the gnat acted like a normal gnat would, so to speak, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So basically, you put a gnat inside of a video game, and the gnat didn't realize that it was inside of a video game, is what I'm saying on a
Yeah.
layman's terms.
Okay.
Yeah. I think our science is like hundreds of years ahead of what we actually know is possible. I think AI, depending on who controls it, it could either be a blessing or it could be a curse.
And
Uh,
what we have now, not meaning to interrupt you, but what we are allowed access to is actually large language models and is not technically AI.
no, I'm talking about the technology that we as normal humans are allowed to know about.
Yeah, that's what I'm stating. What we're
Yeah,
told as AI.
the stuff that we don't know about is way ahead of anything we can imagine. And if AI got a hold of any of that information, with everything Elon's doing, everything NASA's done in the past, it could easily manufacture these things to send up and watch the world because it's got to find a way to be mobile.
I'm just wondering how they'd actually take a legitimate AI, and since we already know that quantum computers pull things from what is perceived as the multiverse, you put the AI and a quantum computer together, it can probably cause the Mandela effect, which in a,
Probably. And
in a sense
okay,
makes sense.
okay. What if this is something AI has been asked to? What if something was asked to be corrected?
So are you
What if
going back
AI
to
was
the
asked?
simulation theory again, Kirst? Are you talking about simulation theory?
That was what I was talking about whenever I was talking about the gnat. What I'm trying to explain here, um, in a sense that yeah, it all ties together. We've had time travel. We had the ability to perceive different futures before we had the ability to change the past so that the present will retroactively change around us, causing the Mandela event. That's the whole thing of why we are here now.
Yeah.
This is why
What
we
if the
have these
AI
ideas and we're told that we're just crazy.
What if the AI was tasked with correcting the timeline? Something humans cannot do.
And that's what I'm putting on the table. What if George
Yeah.
Washington decided to cross the Delaware without influence, but at some point in time he was influenced not to cross the Delaware, causing the United States not to exist? But then again, we reinserted it where he crossed the Delaware. It's like I normally state. What greater evil? You don't want to know what greater evil rose if we
Well,
deleted
you're
Hitler from
assuming,
the.
and this takes us off on another tangent. You're assuming that everything biblical historically happened in the Middle East. What if it happened here? What if the Garden of Eden was right here in this country? And what if Noah was living here when the flood came? Because the ark was made from gopher wood. And there's only one place in the world that gopher wood has ever grown. And you're not going to find it in the Middle East. There's a lot of what ifs out there. In our history, we've been lied to.
Yeah, and
Well, history keeps changing too.
Yeah.
a lot of
You got to
people have
keep
Well,
to.
that in
well,
mind.
maybe it keeps changing because we've been lied to, and we are experiencing a correction.
a lot of people question because we know that it was Noah, his wife, their three sons, and their wives. But what happened with procreation down the line? A lot of people don't realize that there was a group of individuals called the children of Cain that intermingled after the fact.
Yeah, and some of Noah's sons married women who had the wrong genetics too. So they did survive the flood. But my point is that you can't have a clear understanding of what went before if you don't understand the truth. I mean, and we've been lied to so many times.
And then I basically have a simple, stupid question. All right, here's my simple, stupid question. We know China has existed for 6,000 years, roughly. We know that Egypt fell roughly 5 to 6,000 years ago. If there was some kind of, quote, advanced mechanical or electronical technology, do you not think China would have that as well? Because they actually survived all these years, so they would have that in their culture somewhere of the free electricity, so to speak.
Well,
If Egypt had free electricity,
The Greeks had the Antikythera mechanism.
But here's the thing I want to touch on that you said, I found interesting. When
Mhm.
you were like, maybe the Mandela effect is a correction. Like, that's actually interesting to me because if you take it just on the Flintstone Mandela effect, and Flint, like you have a flint for a fire since they are cavemen, and if you take It's a Beautiful Day in this neighborhood because it's the neighborhood that he's in versus the neighborhood, which can mean any neighborhood. Basically, it's not specific. Then maybe it was a correction.
Well, anytime, I mean, look at your own life. Anytime you have something that's a routine in your life that your pets are used to, children are used to, or whatever is used to, the minute you change it, it causes a chain reaction to all those people who were depending on you to stick to the program. So now we're experiencing something that kind of upsets that certainty of our reality.
Right.
And I think we are having a correction being applied. I don't know if it's AI was tasked to do it. If AI was tasked to do it, knowing what Elon's up to these days, it could get really freaky. If it's something that's more spiritual, then we're going to see a lot of weird shit. And I think the
that's
Mandela
just the
effect.
point I'm putting down about the Mandela effect. There's too many and too often to just throw it off the table now.
Yeah, but you're looking at the little things and not looking at what could be causing it and why. You don't learn anything looking at the differences.
I already
We
understand
have
the
looked at,
reason why
we
it's
have, hold
called
on a second.
effect. I'm looking for the cause.
Right. We can't figure out the cause because there's no proven
Right.
cause, causation to it.
Mm-hmm.
We can theorize, we can
Right.
guess
That's
basically,
all you can do, really.
but we can draw, we can't prove it. And that's the thing. We can't prove
Right.
if it's CERN, if it's the simulated reality, if it's time travel, if it's anything else. We have no proof because we can't duplicate it.
No, but
And
when you network about a concept and you share ideas about a concept, you bring the solution into the reality. If you just go about it thinking about it all by yourself, we learned this in the group I was in. When you network and you think of all the what ifs and all the maybes and all the things that it could
You
possibly
still bang your head
accomplish,
against the same wall.
no. What you do is you present all your ideas, and all of a sudden sparks happen because you're sharing it in a group of people. This is why they don't like us having groups. When you network, the sparks go off, and then ideas turn into answers. They turn into research. They turn into curiosity.
They
If
turn into a you're a crazy person and you're misremembering.
you're missing the whole point, Zero. We got called a cult. For the whole 12 years I was with these people, we were called cults. We were insulted so badly, but we had managed to learn how to get this off the ground. And when people, all they do is talk about the effects, nothing happens. But when you get a group of people talking about the possibilities, something happens. You see the difference?
What what if okay, if everything has energy to it, right?
Hmm.
Okay, everything that exists has energy flowing through it. You have energy flowing through your body. I have energy flowing through my body.
Hmm.
The machine has energy flowing through it. So if what if the energy is changing here, and so it is shifting. I mean, this is just a theory, but if the energy is colliding and there's people, let's say there's people from different timelines here, or in different, because it has already been shown to me and proven to me by life lived here that there are people here that have no concept of what things used to be, or they don't think it matters. So I have met people who either take the updates about, well, I'll use the Bible as an example. They don't think it matters. One guy said, what's it matter that they're changing, that I met years ago? So that's one example. But like all the cultural changes, all the music changes, all the geography changes, the sun being a different color, the skies, I mean, the
Us
clouds,
being in a different part of the
they don't even,
universe.
yeah, that's what I'm saying is the energy changed here. So
What if the
that's
script
has to be a
changed?
part of it.
What if it was
What's
the
that?
script that changed, not just the energy, but the script?
So you're
Well,
going
That
on.
even
that could be
that,
part of it too.
Let's use this as an idea. You're going on the idea of the Greada Treaty, where we sided with the bad guys, but now we suddenly realize that we sided with the bad guys, even though intentionally we sided with the bad guys. Now the good guys are on our side because we decided to side with them, and now they're helping us.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Well, there has to be some other explanation than the one of the ones that we've already banged our head against the wall and told that we're crazy because of.
Well, I've listed a couple of
Well, the
possibilities, but
script
there's
that most
also
people,
collective.
that many people,
can't hear you, David.
the script that many people use is the Bible, but the
No, I'm
Bibles are
not talking. Yeah, I'm not talking about that
changed.
type of script. I'm not
I
talking
mean,
about
they are
that type of
Mandela,
script.
No, what she's talking about is the not what people are going by, but
but
what the cycle is.
I'm talking about the program within the cycle that people
Yeah,
get caught in.
But do
yeah.
you see how I made up another plausible idea of technology that is beyond our comprehension? And we decided to side with the opposite side after realizing that we intentionally sided with the bad guys because they said, here, more power, more weapons, blow shit up. And the good
Well,
side
that was
just
the
said,
deep
disarm, we
state.
give you better technology.
That was the deep state that wanted that. And now we're reversing it. But now we have the advantage because we have the technology.
but
The whole
isn't this
point about
technology
that,
our
what was it?
environment?
Eisenhower that made the deal where they get to kidnap so many humans for experiment, for exchange in technology. And what humans fail to realize is, regardless of what our elected leaders promise these people, we have free will. And when these beings were kidnapping these people or taking these people, they were so brainwashed not to realize they have free will. And these beings are betting on the fact that you don't think of that. Too many people have a slave mentality. They're caught in the program.
No, I've met people like that. I met one dude a couple of years ago who said, "Oh, there's only one path." That's deterministic. That's
Yeah.
deterministic thinking. That is a thinking. That is a slave mentality.
It's a program. And these are people who are not fully individuated. We can't be mean to them. We can't hate them. We just got to understand what they are. Our term for it in our group was organic portals. The term they have for it nowadays is NPCs.
But
It's
Okay.
here's the
it's
thing.
very real.
It still gets off like because history has changed. You
Yeah,
can't depend on anything except for prior knowledge that you have. Any knowledge that you've gained, you don't know if it's knowledge or
exactly.
if it's a Mandela change. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
anything after the Mandela effect that you've learned that you didn't already know, then that could be a Mandela effect. That could be a change.
well,
And one thing that we
they didn't teach us proper history either. They lied to us. So now if we are experiencing a correction, it's going to be even more confusing for some people because they can't think of those concepts.
right, we don't know if what is considered the wrong history is actually the wrong history. All we know is what we've known before the Mandela effect.
We were on the wrong history. We're
Right.
off
I
of
understand
that.
that's a
Yeah.
theory, but we can't prove that. There's
No,
no
we
way to
can't
prove
prove
that.
it. But among the community that I chat with, the people are convinced that, had it not gone the way it is, a lot of us would be dead, including me. So that to us in this group is proof of something having changed. We were already on a path of destruction. People do not realize how close we came. People don't realize what bullet we dodged.
But that's what I'm saying. Because that was prior or previous to the Mandela effect, we don't know if that's real because we didn't know it before. Everything that we know as our reality is what we knew before the Mandela effect.
Hmm.
Anything else is new reality.
Right.
So if they say that we're lied to, we don't actually know that we were lied to because you can't say that you were lied to when you know the zero would help me out with this. But you don't know what you only know what you know. What you
Right.
knew prior to the Mandela effect is fact. What's after the Mandela effect could be fact, could be fiction.
It could be
Okay.
So
fact as
All right.
well. It's
Here we
all
go.
stuff.
All right. You ready? You ready? I was outside smoking a cigarette. That's how come you had the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, sitting there. But you want to know something, Mud Rabbit? If post-apocalyptic, non-societal existence is where we were, and you consider that the bad reality, because people would legitimately be using their free will and surviving off of their personal volition,
No, we weren't.
most
We
of us
weren't
wouldn't
there. We were
survive
headed
as the
there.
wrong reality.
We weren't there.
I don't
We
want
were
to be
headed
underneath this
there.
tyrannical foot.
Oh God.
I'd rather be in that reality, dead of starvation, than under this tyrannical foot, to be completely honest with you.
If you got
welcome back, David.
zero, what's
Oh,
coming is a good
yeah.
thing. What's coming is supposed to be a good thing. I don't
It's
know where these people get this idea that everything is so horrible and terrible. It's not. But nobody does the research. Nobody goes and
I've done the
actually
research. You know I've done the research, and you damn well know that
zero,
aliens see
zero.
us.
zero,
Sorry.
chill.
First,
I'm
calm down,
talking
calm
about
down.
the world as it is right now politically. People go around thinking everything is so screwed up. It's not. It's being fixed.
But that's the thing. We can't trust that because of the Mandela effect.
We don't have a choice.
No,
No, you're
Yeah,
right.
exactly. We
No,
never had a
Mud Rabbit,
choice in
how
the
is it
entire
being
matter.
fixed? I go with zero, man. Like, the, how is this being fixed? Because I have observed outside of all of it and watched. what happened to the societal structure.
You're
Communities
breaking
don't
up.
exist here anymore. Communities don't exist here anymore. People
They
are
do
not
if you make them. You
in
have
a
to make them.
unified. People aren't unified in their relational connections to life anymore. People are literally enslaved in their consciousness. Go to work, go to their Starbucks, go home. Nobody's outside talking to each other for the most part. People are not interacting. Humanity
Yes,
is at a standstill.
that's their reality. They're stuck in the program.
Then
Right,
how are
but
we moving in
what's
a direction where life changes for the better and does not continue to loop in a way that allows these tyrannical governments and these people that have been in power for centuries to control us, to get us to kill each other over wars that don't fucking mean a thing, and continue to pit humanity against each other over concepts and ideas. And now the family unit and even the neighborhood units of, of relationship are gone. We are not living in a societal structure where humanity is connected to one another.
No,
We are
and
more
we never have.
connected, but we were. We were in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. People were,
I was around in the 60s and the 70s. Everybody was high on one thing or another.
I can't say in the 60s and 70s, but definitely the 80s and 90s because I was around then.
Yeah.
And communities were
We were
communities.
trying in the 90s. We were trying.
No, what happened in the 80s, actually, it happened in the 70s, where when Nixon took us off the gold standard, he had to put a price freeze on everything for a couple of years because prices started to go up, but wages weren't going up. So when he took us off the gold standard and then the price freeze was over, we also had the gas crisis. The price of everything, when all of this is over, the price of everything started going up and hasn't stopped since. So they made it to a point that from the 70s, early 70s on, a family could not exist unless both parents were working. When that happens, the state gets your child. So that's when you're.
It's not really about that. It's not about like
No, but that's when you're stuck in the program because you don't know any better. And you have to learn discernment and you have to be mature because even when we're in our 20s and 30s, we don't see it.
my thing is what does the dash and the Kit Kat have to do with this? That's what like the understanding is what are the things are not making sense.
And my
If
argument
it's
is, how is this the correct timeline?
Makes perfect
or
sense to me.
so why mess with the Dash and Kit Kat or the tea and Skechers or the monocle on the Monopoly Man or the Pink and Chew or
And
it
what if
doesn't
it's
make
just a
sense.
side effect? Side effects happen, especially when there's something so massive as this. There's going to be ripples and side effects.
Right, but it's directed towards only people that would know. And that's the thing. If you take Generation Z, for example, or even younger millennials, they would not know that Kit Kat had the dash because it was
Right.
not in their reality.
Right.
But for someone my age, Cursed age, and Dave's age, like we know that the dash was in the Kit Kat, just like we know it was a beautiful day in the neighborhood, not this neighborhood. So
Hmm.
when you're changing the words and stuff like that, it's too coincidental to be a side effect because it's targeting. But why is it targeting? And that's
The
the
way that
thing.
I look
Like
at it is that it changed. They changed something in the past, which caused down the line something to change perceptionally. So it's like chopping off a blade of grass. The whole thing of what we have explained before about a
Butterfly
body being
wings.
in the past displaces the particles, which causes a change in that reality.
It's called butterfly wings. The wing
That's
of the
pretty much what
butterfly
occurs because you're
flaps
displacing particles.
farther.
Just existing in the past causes a change.
But my question is,
Well,
why would
something
it?
did have to have changed in the past
Like, why?
between
If
the 90s and the early 2000s. Something had to have. They've had to have messed with timelines because
it
I had
doesn't,
Grinch Night like appear out of nowhere in 2007, and that never existed in my childhood. So my timeline split then in 2007. They've split the timelines and created things have come out of different timelines that now exist into the physical
and
reality. So
that's also the thing too. It's like we say we're from Sagittarius. I'm from Sagittarius. I don't know if any of y'all. I know David. You said you're from Sagittarius. We grew up in Sagittarius. We did not grow. Orion was not a thing for us. So now Orion is a thing, and even later on, Orion and Sagittarius exist together. I showed that video in another live stream. But where's the third option? If it's giving us Sagittarius and it's giving us Orion and it took us from Sagittarius to Orion, where's the third option? There has to be
And
another
that's what I'm
option.
putting down because I've seen three different realities, including the one we're in. Because the only way that I can clarify that I've seen three is I pay attention to Planck length.
Okay, let me ask a question. How are your personal realities individually?
Mine, I have Mandela effects in them.
No, no, I
Personally,
mean, is it pleasant? Are you happy, or is shit happening all the time, or is there constant problems, or what's happening in your reality? How would you describe it?
my reality's good. Like, it's good, but it doesn't mean
Zero.
that my cheese doesn't disappear out the fucking fridge. Or,
Yeah, but barring all the supernatural stuff, your reality, your personal reality is pleasant,
yes,
correct?
it's good.
Okay,
Yes.
and David, yours?
not always, no.
Okay, and Zero?
I don't allow the negativity of my past to
I'm not
control
talking
my
about your
emotional
past.
present.
I'm asking right now in the present, how is your reality?
I don't allow that to affect my emotional state or what
I'm
I am
not
capable.
asking how it affects your emotional state. Would you describe it as pleasant or chaotic?
I don't.
The whole point is, and I'm a Christian and I'm pretty religious. I mean, not religious, spiritual. The Bible tells us the kingdom is within. That doesn't mean the kingdom's in your heart. That means the kingdom is within your reality. You have to bring it to you. I've been through hell and back. And let me tell you, once you learn that that is a very real truth, your reality changes. And when your reality changes, you affect everybody you come in contact with. You affect your neighbors, you affect the lady in the grocery store, you affect the guy at the gas station. This is how your realities overlap with other people and create a communal reality, the collective. The people who understand the difference between positive and negative use it. And when they use it, the kingdom happens around them. And I can attest to that. I'm not saying you'll never have difficulties in your life again. Hell, I broke my arm. But your life becomes more and more pleasant the more you realize how that works. And I can say, I'm sitting here watching everybody around me go through all these problems. I'm happy. My life is pleasant. I'm happy. I'm doing the thing I want to do. I'm broke as hell, but who cares? It's when you start getting depressed and you start mumping on yourself and start telling yourself, oh God, I'll never do that. You set that into reality. When you say, I never win, you set that into your reality and it affects those around you. On top of that, we have 50% in this world of a population that does not apply to. These are the NPCs. They're a whole different race. They're not going to ascend. They're going to keep reincarnating until they get it. But we're coming up on the end of an era, and if you want to ascend, it's important to understand that. And it's very simple. It's just that it's so easy for people to get drug into something negative.
I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you 100%.
Hmm.
Like if you have positive energy, if you have positivity, then you attract it, and it's the law of attraction. I
And
also
your
believe
life gets
in
better, and your
it,
reality gets better, and better
right.
things happen.
It's your outlook. Your outlook
Yes.
count matters definitely. But what I'm saying, and I don't know if David and Kirst are saying this too, but what I'm saying is, why is it targeting people?
I don't
So
think it's targeting
it
people. I think
it
these
has to
people
be
are.
and the reason why I deducted that it has to be targeting people is because only people that grew up in a certain era and only people that knew history before the Mandela effect happened are really realizing the changes.
How is it an attack, though?
Be well, I said targeting, not attacking. It's targeting people to notice it. It's targeting. It's saying that this is happening. So there is.
The way that I can answer your question, Sai, is that it's another way to divide the masses so they know who is who whenever the time comes.
But my issue with it is, it's like, even in the personal Mandela effects, like, you're sitting there and you're like, what the hell? It's either somebody I talk to that I tell a story to and then it happens again, or something to that nature, or the feet are getting repeats back and forth. That stuff, as I call the ABC thing, and it's like it's targeting people specifically.
I don't see it as a target. I accept it as a correction. I accept the change, and I just move on. I don't feel targeted. I don't feel anything negative from it. I just accept, okay, that changed. Okay?
I don't feel anything negative. I'm inquisitive about it. I don't feel
Yeah.
negativity from it, but I'm inquisitive about it
I don't care.
because
I don't care what changed. I want to know who changed it, why was it
Right.
changed, and what caused it to do that. Because
Right.
I know that is not what occurred. I know something else occurred to cause that to occur.
There's that, and there's also deja vu. When you experience deja vu, someone is screwing with the timeline.
April 8th, 2008.
Your last deja vu?
Yeah, I physically experienced date deja vu of April 8th,
Yeah,
2008.
I used to get it all the time, and right about the time that I stopped remembering my dreams, I stopped experiencing deja vu. But that's a change in the timeline.
No, I physically noticed the date did not change. And it's happened 2.5 times throughout my life. The half is
Right.
basically it was the same day until almost noon, and then it became the next day suddenly in the middle of the day.
Right. But what I'm saying is deja vu is the feeling that you'll be doing something like gardening or washing dishes, and all of a sudden you'll get the feeling that you have done that exact thing with that exact
Correct, but I was
sponge. And
explaining
right.
a date deja vu, like a literal Gregorian calendar date deja
Right,
vu.
but
That I was explaining that I've experienced.
the whole point I'm trying to make is the information we had was that it's a timeline change. Someone's messing with the timeline, whether it's for good or whether it's for bad. But I would imagine that those sort of things would create little glitches like Mandela effects. And some people
Only
get
if
to
it was
experience it
only if
happening.
whatever occurred was done before said change existed. The item that had changed had to have not existed before the change was implemented. If we're going off of your theory.
I don't see how that matches my theory.
Okay, so let's use the Looney Tunes thing. All right. So whatever occurred to cause TUNES to become what is seen now means that it happened before TOONS
Okay,
existed.
my whole point is that all these little things that you're seeing, the Kit Kat, the Berenstein Bears, the Looney Tunes, whatever it is, if you want to find out what's causing it, you have to move beyond it and stop
And
getting
that's what I'm
stuck.
explaining. That's what I'm
Stop.
explaining.
Yeah,
You have
you
to
got to
go
stop
before
getting
it
stuck in the
existed
wonder of it.
because the change occurred before that item even existed in order for the item to change. Am I making sense?
No,
Explain
In
it in a
order
different way, Curse.
okay. Um oh god, I don't know how to explain it another way. The in order for the item to have changed, it whatever occurred had to occur before the item existed in order for the item to be different, because it can't change something that already existed
yeah, Ken.
to our perception, because we're at this point in present perception. It
It can
had to
still
occur
change it.
before the
It
item.
changed her Bible verse right there in front of her.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why it happened immediately, instantly, right in front of her, because something happened in the past.
Not
Back to the
necessarily.
future.
No,
Back
no,
to the future. The newspaper instantaneously changing after he burns the almanacs
no.
in the past in
I'm not
1955,
saying something in the past happened. What my theory is that something got corrected.
and that's what I'm putting down on the table.
And
Because
what we're
whatever was
watching.
corrected, it happened before the logo or the line existed.
Okay, beyond and when quantum physics is taken into consideration, time does not exist. Time only exists here
And
for us.
then if we jump
Wait a
onto
minute.
that,
Wait
we're
a
going
minute. Let me
sideways.
finish. Let me finish. Time does not exist for AI. If there's been a correction made by AI or by whatever, it's beyond time. God is beyond time. The corporeal beings are beyond time. The only people that experience linear time are us. And you have to take your mind out of that to understand. Because as long as you're thinking in terms of linear time, you're not going to get it. These things are beyond time. They don't have to go back in time to correct something. That's human thinking. They don't have to go forward in time to correct anything. They simply change it. You see what I'm saying? The way my guide explained to me, and this is going back 25 years, the way he explained to me, the way we experience time, it's a line. But the way they experience time, it's a jar of jelly beans. And if you want to experience time, you have to take one of those jelly beans. You choose one and you go into that line. But as far as they're concerned, up there, whether this be spiritual, whether it be an act of God, whether it be an act of AI, whatever it is, time has nothing to do with it. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to go and it's going to change something that's going to affect some sort of change.
And that
And what
changes
we're
prime perception to another reality where that logo always was that way.
you're still thinking in terms of time. What
No, I'm thinking of a
we're
fifth
concerned
dimensional
with
block universe, Mud.
we're concerned with our reality as it is right now. It's the only thing
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we
the
as
basic
humans can
robotic
affect.
NPCs that care about the price of beef. I'm
Right.
looking at
Well, you
reality
have to
through a fifth
disregard those. I'm
dimensional
not
lens.
talking about them. They don't have anything to do with this. They're going to go through they're placeholders. They're going to go through the reincarnational cycle. Nothing they do is going to affect any of this. It has to do with the soul. So whatever it was that changed whatever it was didn't have to go through time to do it. It just simply changed it. And what we're witnessing right now are all the little ripple effects from that.
And then we'll circle around to the medical Mandela effects. What is that supposed to mean, Mud?
I don't understand what medical Mandela.
Medical Mandela effects, or the body has changed, or things on the body have changed.
Well, we were told in scripture that we would be healed and things would change.
But
I
these
don't find it
people,
so fascinating.
their hearts are reversed. The entire structure of the human body is changed. So that our hearts were on our left side,
They were
right?
center left behind the breastbone.
Yeah. Well, there's a reversal where people's hearts are on their right side or in the middle,
Well, I just had an x-ray because I broke a rib and my heart's center left.
right? But there's other people that aren't.
And how does that affect where we're going?
I don't know. But the point is like it can't just be that things are being in a timeless state of existence being changed, because the amount of changes and what has been affected isn't just Kit Kat with a dash,
Right.
or it isn't just Ed McMahon didn't deliver checks to Publishers Clearinghouse anymore.
Right. Those are just the little things that happen.
Right.
And now we're in a different spot in the Milky Way galaxy. But please continue.
You know, so the sun's different here.
Yeah, I've
There's,
noticed.
there's several great walls, architectures that weren't here are here. You know, the history is completely changed. The
Yeah.
Bibles are completely changed.
Well,
The
scripture said all
anatomy
this would happen.
of the human body is changed. It cannot just be as simple as things being changed in the past, and it's a bigger thing. The geography of the entire earth has changed.
Right. And as far as people go, this is ascension time. We're coming up on the end of an era. We're going
I've
into a
heard that
new
one
one.
for 14 years.
I've
So,
heard that
huh?
for a while. But
No,
how is it ascension?
this is ascension. This is the awakening, the apocalypse.
I heard that one for 14 years.
Well, do you
They
think
said
these
that in
things
the
happen
movie.
overnight, Zero?
They said that in
Oh
2000.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
An apocalypse does go boo.
Okay,
That's what the word
a
means.
day for God is 100 years for us. So yeah, we this is the end of an era. An era is a long period of time. And as that era happens, you're going to have the new spirits coming in who are going to evolve while the old souls roll out.
But
There's a lot of people that aren't coming back.
how has this generation evolved? You tell me that.
I'm not
Explain
saying it's evolved. I'm saying that I'm looking at it from a spiritual point of view. We're going through an age right now where there's a lot of people that when they die, they're not cycling back. They're gone. And there's a lot of people coming in who are baby souls and infant souls and new souls who have to learn the ropes. This is Schoolhouse Earth. You come here to learn about love, about measurements, about other people, about tolerance. So there's a lot of people that have learned these lessons and they're ready to cycle out. But you've got new people coming in, new new spirits coming in who want to learn the same lessons, and they've got an era to learn them.
how are they going to learn it in this era? I
They're
don't.
not going to learn it in this era. They're going to learn it over hundreds of years every time they incarnate until they get it. You don't come here, it's one and done. This is Schoolhouse Earth. You got grades. You got to grow that soul. You got to get it to seat in every last one of those energy centers before you can get the hell out of here.
No, this is a level 5 death world. All who come here came here for a reason, and we're stuck until we finish our
It's
sentences.
Schoolhouse Earth. So we'll get it done and we'll get the hell out. But the whole point is that while this is going on, we've had a correction happening. And on top of that, it's the end of an era. Correction had to happen now because you can't go into the new one with the mess we got. And the Bible did tell us that wonders in the skies, which we're seeing, that would tell us about wars and rumors of wars. It told us about, the things, the changes that we would experience that we wouldn't understand.
They said this in the 80s. They said this in the 90s.
Right. They
They've
said it in the
already
50s. But like I said,
They
a
said
day
it
to
in the
God
twenties,
is a
been,
40s,
100 years to
50s, and
us.
60s too.
they've been
They
saying this
say
for
it,
centuries.
He
right?
said
They
it would
say it every
take a
decade.
generation. They
They
said
say
it would.
the end is every century. They have prophesied the end
But he also gave
every.
you signs with which to recognize it. And if you've done the research, you can see the signs have been happening since World War One,
And we can
1914.
also prove the fact that they've been intentionally doing what the Bible says just to bring about the end times as well.
No, no, I
Yeah,
think
they
what they've
have.
done is given us an intentional misunderstanding of the Bible because they've pulled a lot of books out that would give us a lot of enlightenment. But the whole point is that a day to God is not a day to us. And this whole thing, Revelation, started in 1914 with World War One. And if you go through history from World War One, this is something we do know because there were people alive to talk about it. You can go back through that history and you can find something that equates to what's going on in Revelations.
But see, that's my point too. Okay,
Hmm.
so you have knowledge that we have acquired through generations, either passed down from one generation to another,
Right.
or learned in history books and etc. That has changed. So, which one do you believe? Do you believe the new version or do you believe the old version?
Well, I remember the version my great grandmother told me. I never remembered a second version. Are you muted
Whoa,
again?
Marty McFizzle took a nice hit of that shroom. I wouldn't even say he hit the pipe. That was a shroom hit right there. Holy smack! This guy's on something. I want a hit of that. Pass that this way, man. Pass that this way because whatever you said makes wow sense.
No, Revelation doesn't last 7 years. The tribulation. It was 7 years of famine and then 7 years of feast. We just went through the 7 years of famine. And in case you didn't notice, we're getting rid of the locusts.
But my question is, which one do you believe? So, do you believe that Kit Kat never had the dash, or do you believe that Kit Kat had the dash? Do you believe that there was lion in the lamb, or do you believe it was the wolf in the lamb? They're
I believe it was
dualities.
both. It was
It
both.
can't. It can be one. It can't be both.
It can be both. If we've had two realities to traverse, it can be both.
If
Right.
you
You
have a
won't
fifth
remember it.
dimensional understanding, it can be even the seal and the whale. If we have a fifth dimensional understanding, Sai, but I don't know if you want to jump that high.
To simplify it, this is the very simple. You remember it one way. I have a memory when I see something, I never forget it. It's like a photograph in my head. When you see something and you know it and you remember it, you don't have to question it. And then when something comes along later that looks like it's changed, all you have to do is acknowledge that there's two.
Does anybody know the Marty McFizzle?
He was in one of your previous lives. Leave him alone. They're good to be a non-shield
Now,
holder.
I have a question for Marty. What if we're coming up on the end of the 1,000 years and Satan's about to be turned loose? What if we've got the timeline all figured out wrong since history's been a lie? What if he already came 1,000 years ago and this is the end of the reign?
See, Mud's picked her side in the war older than creation. I don't like to be forced to do anything.
Okay, Marty, there are rules to my panel. Do you understand that? You cannot curse. You could have to respect people. Do you understand? Shake your head. I do not put up with bullshit. I will block you in a heartbeat.
Well, I'll kick them off.
Okay? Respect. Do not curse as much as you can, even though I said the F bomb a couple times. And we don't go doom and gloom. You understand? Okay. We'll try it. We'll give them a shot.
We don't intentionally piss people off.
Yes. Hi, Marty. How are
Yeah,
you?
we laugh at you and we kick you
I'm
out of
well.
the room. we
Right.
we
How
laugh
did
and
you find
point.
the channel?
I typed in open panel live chat or something.
Hi,
Okay.
Marty.
Oops. Yeah,
Smoke
my
break.
phone kind of balancing because it's got a charge there. But
Okay.
sorry about that. Yeah, just I've seen Mud Rabbit before. Maybe Jacob Waters or somewhere else.
Yeah, Jacobs. I'm a regular over there.
I still have my old channel, my Smith channel. I just haven't used it in a while. My work found
It's
out
good to
about it.
see you again.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I don't want to go doom and gloom. Just to, if you want to hear, I'm not doing no shrooms, but I was doing some math. You can Google and they say if you Google, I'm not saying this is when he died, but if you Google when did Jesus die, it says April 3rd in the year 33, and then
Yeah,
2000 years from then is 2033. That's 7 years from now. It's like
right.
right around the corner. I'm not saying that that's
Yeah, but we
I
also had our
agree.
calendar changed. So,
I, I agree with you on the 1,000 year reign, and that you look at the old the Antiquitech stuff and the free power, and how there's
yep,
just
yep.
none of the architecture makes any sense. I'm actually from the birthplace of Father's Day, Spokane. It's not a very big city, and from 1881 until 1914, it had the largest stage theater in the world, which makes no sense at all.
So, Marty, let me ask you, do you know about the Mandela effect?
Yeah,
Are you Mandela affected?
I totally believe in it. I think that I'm a religious person. I think that it's 2 Corinthians 4:4 that Satan's blinded the world and he's changed things. And I think the Old Testament is Masonic and corrupted. And I'm a terrible sinner. I'm not even a good person. I just know I have a conscience and I know that I'm not a good person, at
None of
least.
us are
I,
perfect.
I
I
think that's
don't
a good
usually
step.
talk religion on my streams, but we talk about the Mandela effect a lot here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Um, Different changes in things and things that appear and disappear randomly. Buildings, roads included, changes in geography. We talk about all that different stuff, but we usually don't touch on religion too much because we have many differences of opinion on religion. So to keep it kind of neutral, we stick to supernatural things instead of religion, such as the Mandela effect,
Oh,
parallel
here's some.
timelines.
Can I share this with you? And I'll jump off, and it's not inappropriate, and it is supernatural. Is that Trump is the magician because MAGA? I don't know. People know that if you Google it, it's the highest ranking magician in the Church of Satan, and they drained the swamp when they built Disney's Magic Kingdom. And then in 2020, the NBA shut down and went to the Magic Kingdom, and then Magic announced that he had some. I don't believe in what he said, but a cap is a lie, and a magician wears a cap. So appreciate that. Take care, guys.
Yeah, I'm familiar with all of that.
He just wanted to get in his
Oh, he
Democrat
went way
bullshit.
too quick.
Yeah, he just wanted to do his leftist bullshit. But it's kind of like, you know, I still don't. So for me, Mud, it's kind of like we agree that the Spanish flu did not happen in 1920s.
Right.
It happened before that.
I've seen the
So
headstones.
yeah, so this is learned, not knowledge not told, but knowledge through experience
Right.
and ancestral knowledge for me. So now it's saying 1920s. So which one do you believe? What you already knew or what they're telling you now?
I believe what I saw.
Right, what you already knew. And I
Right.
think that's the thing that this is why I say it's targeting people because the people that knew it before are the only ones that know that it changed.
Right. But you think maybe why would they be targeting us? I don't understand why they
Why
would
would
target at those of us who notice the changes. I mean, I don't follow Mandela effects, but I notice the shit that happens.
right, you notice because it happens in front of you, right?
Right.
So it's like, so that's where it goes from. It goes from like happening in front of people. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It doesn't. Um, it's not. So the generations that are after us, unless we tell them or we make it known to them, they will not know that it was what it
Unless it
was.
continues as it has. But there has been changes this year, but we still don't know if it will continue. But all I can say is there still are changes going on periodically, not every day or every week or once a month, but there has been changes in the year of 2026 is what I can state.
Yeah, but again, like if people go back and they haven't looked at the gravestones like Mud Rabbit has, or they don't have the ancestral knowledge like I do, they're not going to know that the Spanish flu happened way before the 1920s. They're not going to know that because if they Google it or they learn it somewhere, it's going to say it happened in the 1920s. Do you get it? So it's kind of like you
Now,
have to
can we
go.
chalk that one up to Mud Rabbit's AI changing things because it misunderstands?
No, I'd throw that one over to the deep state. You have 50% of the population coming in ready to do a long term on this planet through incarnations, and they're prepping them. See, we were all supposed to be gone by now. That was the grand plan, but it didn't work.
What was up with that dude who just jumped on? I was on
Oh,
the
he
phone.
was just a leftist that wanted to bash Trump. Nothing.
He said
That's
Orange
all.
Man bad, and I have
No,
high suspicion that
he
45 is
didn't
not
say
47
anything
anyway.
bad. He didn't say anything bad. All he
He
did
said
was
MAGA is all cultists and
right.
evil. Yeah,
That's
that's bad.
nothing
That's
new.
bad.
That's
Because
they.
I'm MAGA and I'm not a cult.
I'm MAGA too. I'm MAGA hardcore.
so,
But
so it's kind of like it was bad though. That's what I'm saying.
well,
That
I've
was
been
the
called
idea
a
of
cult
making
when I've been with
America
the
America
Cassiopeia
again
and
a bad
Musical.
idea. Or
All,
cult.
all I have
Exactly.
to repeat is 45 is not 47, and if South Park makes fun of it, it really fucking happened. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. South Park
So,
is
so if Mr. Garrison was 45 and this other caricature is 47, you get what I'm putting on the table.
yeah, and you got to
Yes.
watch The Simpsons too.
I'm waiting for the next presidential election where we're forced to pick a female no matter what. You're screwed. That's your only options.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. But again, I go back to the how are so say if it changes again, it flip flops back. We've all seen that. We've all seen the Mandela effect flip flop back and forth, and we still only go on the knowledge that we have.
Bro, I'm
Because
telling you, if my moles flip flop back to the way they were 19 years ago, I'm calling up everybody and saying, where the hell are we? That's the code word. Where the hell are we right now?
if I get my cheese back, it would be nice.
Mhm.
That cheese is gone at
Seriously,
8.
that's all that.
It's probably moldy by now.
Yeah, very much. Only like 3 years, three,
Yeah,
4 years,
more than
maybe.
just blue spots. That thing's growing fuzz and walking.
But the point being, that's the thing, because obviously by the time we notice a change, it's minimal been more than a day or two that it has occurred, as well as that we have to accept that. Also, we have to consider if the person even knows about the original compared to the change.
What is
yeah,
the importance of making sure somebody else knows the original when they couldn't care less?
Okay, the point of tracking when Mandela events occur is the point to know of how often they do changes to the reality to make us go to another reality.
That only
That's
matters
the
to
only
those of
reason
us.
why I track changes.
That only matters to those of us who notice them. It doesn't matter to an NPC.
And that's what I'm putting down on the table to the part where tracking or targeting or whatever specifically. It's like I said, it's another way to divide us all. If
No,
you
no.
at least acknowledge it, you're on the side of the Mandela effect.
Okay, what if the powers that be understood what it was I just explained, that a lot of us souls are on our way out. I certainly don't want to come back here. There's a lot of old souls in this world on their way out. The apocalypse is happening. It has happened and has been happening over the last 3 generations. So there's enough.
And they've
Well,
quote predicted
wait.
the
So
actual
now you
legitimate
have
apocalypse so they can
now
continue
you have
society.
now you have new spirits coming in. The people or the things or whatever it is that controls this world doesn't care about us. We're on our way out. It only cares about them.
But here's the thing, see, I disagree with that. I can't say the apocalypse is happening because according to every decade that I looked through, they had some type of fear porn about the apocalypse happening. So I can't take that seriously. I can't take that for
Well,
a
it
real.
doesn't, like I
So
said,
what
it
I
doesn't
can,
happen in a day. It started in 1914 or
But it was,
1912,
but,
1914.
but they've been saying that do you understand what Sai's saying and what I'm saying? If you look at the history of all the prophecies of the apocalypse, the Antichrist, the end times, the end of the
Yes,
age, the end of an era.
we
It is,
have.
but it has been every century since like 370 AD or some shit. It's
Right.
been,
But like I said, a day to God is 100 years to us. It tells you in the Bible what a day to us is. So it's
And my
not a
argument
flash in the
goes back
pan
to what
for
Jacob
us.
and I started at the beginning. What makes you think that a rich man doesn't want to be rich anymore? That's how come they haven't caused the apocalypse and the collapse of society to occur
No,
yet,
no, no.
which was
Apocalypse
already
does
to
not.
occur. And this is
Apoc-
supposed to be the good
Zero
timeline.
apocalypse, look it up. It doesn't mean the end of anything. It means an awakening. It means inset of knowledge.
right? But they've been saying that since forever and a day. It
Yeah, they've been
hasn't
saying
just
it
been in
since
the
before we were born because it started almost 100 years ago.
right, but they've been saying that before 100 years ago is what I'm saying. They've been saying the end times, the
Right,
apocalypse
but
of this, of this.
you have
And
to.
here's the thing, I can't take it serious. I can't.
Well, this is why
There's
I
no
say
reality in which I can take that seriously. And the reason why I can't take that seriously is because it's too much
right
falsities. You know what I'm saying? It's too much
because
falsities and
this
not enough fact.
this is what we went over in our group. This is why research is important. You have to actually open the book and make the comparisons. There is a difference between fear porn, which is used to control the populace, which the Vatican did for a long, long time, and the truth. And they're going to take the truth and sandwich it in lies to control the populace. But when you go back and you do the research, you see exactly where it started, exactly all the different incidences that it tells you. You just have to learn how to decipher the metaphors. And like I said, an easy metaphor would be the locusts. We just experienced that. But people tend to think literally, and it's not literal. The locusts were the population of the people that were sucking this country blind.
I understand what you're saying. I just don't
Right.
agree with it. I don't agree with the it's the end times, it's the apocalypse, it's this, that, because it's been thrown around too much throughout the centuries
Because
and
they've
stuff.
used it for fear porn, but the end times are supposed to be happy. They're not supposed to be fearful. That's
Well,
the
this
point.
isn't a happy time for a lot of people. I
That's
hate to say
because they've fallen for the fear porn.
Huh? Where in the book of Revelation was it a happy time?
Revelation 3, verse 10. We are promised to be protected. We are promised to live in a small paradise
Yeah,
while
but
all
you're
this
not
goes
supposed to
on
go through
around
that.
us.
You're supposed to not be here whenever all this occurs anyway.
No, no. Revelation 3, verse 10 is God's promise to protect the believers no matter what happens.
But that's still like I said, if we don't tell the next generation that Kit Kat had a dash in it, I'm only using that as
Right.
for an example, then they're not going to know that Kit Kat had a dash in it.
Okay. Sometimes when a soul is not individuated, they don't have the capacity to understand even what the Mandela effect is. But they're going to have to go through the same cycle we just went through as a human race to figure it out for themselves and
But
come
do we
into the
even
knowledge.
understand what it fully is, Mud Rabbit?
Huh?
Because I mean, we can't delineate the cause. We can't delineate. We just know that things have changed.
Yeah, we can
And
only
that
make
things
theories
in the
about it.
physical reality have come into reality. Other things have been removed. Other things have just like everything has changed.
Right.
So we know that it is an effect within the conscious reality and the constructed physical reality that affects all aspects of life. That's what we know about it.
Okay.
But it doesn't necessarily mean we have the best definition for it.
No,
We
none
just
of
know
us
what's
do.
happening.
None of us do. But we are told to be aware. And
Okay.
a lot goes over our heads on a daily basis without us even being aware. We set our keys down, we forget where we put them. It tells us be aware, and it gives us the signs, and it tells us what to watch for, and it gives us the math. So I don't know why people think of it the way they do unless it's just something that's been pushed um through the generations. This fear porn, it's nothing to be afraid of.
It because that was the way to control people. That's why they
Exactly.
did it. But
Exactly.
my
But we're
point
stuck
is,
with it.
and that's what makes me not believe we're at the apocalypse or at the end of the world, because it's
It's
not
not
going to
the end of the
control.
world. It's the end of the system. That's what world
Which,
means in the Bible. It's a
right?
system. It's not the end of the earth, and it's not a lot of death. When Jesus comes, where there's death is supposed to be no more. But it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the earth.
I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is I don't believe any of it. I don't believe we're at the end of anything. I believe that's going to come vast after I'm gone, and I think like it's just a way to control people, doom drop people, and fear porn people
Right.
until they give up any hope
Which
or
is why
will.
they've tried to break up the family so that we can't give them generational knowledge. The state gets
Right.
control of your
And
kids,
that's
and
kind of
then both parents have to work.
my point. If
Yeah.
anything after the Mandela effect happened that they told me, oh, well, history was wrong, I don't believe them. I don't believe them at all. I don't care what group it is. I don't care. I don't believe any of it. And the reason why I don't believe any of it is because I know what I know before the Mandela effect happened.
Right.
And that's what I stick to. So if some if any group or the government or anything or news or whatever says to me, "Oh, well, they gave us the wrong history or they're doing the wrong history," I'm not going to believe that. The history that I know, that I grew up and I learned growing up is that's it. That's history.
Right.
And that's what it is. And
But we're going to be
knowing,
long gone by the time that happens.
right. And I know that, like, it's basic history has changed because the Mandela effect has changed it, or because we'll say the governmental systems, but I'm focusing more on the Mandela effect.
Why not both?
And why not both? Because
Yeah.
I don't do that on my live stream. I'm just focusing on the Mandela effect for my live stream.
I think they're
So
aware of it and they use it to their advantage.
I believe that too.
Yeah.
Hey, Crunchy Bee, how are you? And if you want to come up, link's pinned.
Like
Hope
I
you're
said,
doing
it all
well.
goes back to positive thinking. Once you get in the habit of positive thinking and being in a positive state, answers come. That's the only way I can explain it.
Answers come when you dig for them, Mud Rabbit. We both know
Well,
this.
that's what I do. Mud rabbit. How do you think I
It's
get
not
so
your
muddy?
state of mind. It's actually your diligence in what you're looking for. I've looked
Right.
for how reality works my entire life. How do you think I knew what plank length was whenever I was 18 compared to whenever I was 27 compared to now?
Well, that's the whole point. And I made that point in Props Channel one night. The way we think at 20 is not what we think at 30, is not what we think at 40, is not
And
what we
how
think
does
at
plank
40.
width change every decade, Mud Rabbit? That was not part of the scenario. I understand every 7 years all our cells are not what they were.
No,
I
we gain
understand that
knowledge as
scientific
we go
knowledge.
through life. If you
Yeah, but
research, you gain
that will
knowledge.
not change what flunk length is, Mud Rabbit.
Will not change what is?
Flunk length. The whole reason of how I know that I've been in at least three different realities because I've seen three different flunk lengths.
Okay.
Remember, I'm a science guy. I pay attention to scientific things. This
I
is
do
how I
too.
know that it's three different realities, and we're shifting between parallel realities right now
Okay,
where we
maybe
have
my
the same
question
laws of physics.
should be, why does that surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me. It was an accepted, known ideology that if something visually changes, that means that it's a high chance that you are in another reality versus another timeline. And the
Right.
way that you test that is you check the laws of physics where you are corresponding to where you were.
Well, I understood that to be happening when I was experiencing deja vu, but it's not affecting my life. I
And then
got an
that goes
answer
back
when
to
we
it doesn't
asked,
change the price of beef what the plunk length is. Well, it kind of does because it tells you whether or not you are where you began.
but I don't want to be where I began.
Well,
Crunchy's asking you what's a plunk lift.
plunk length, PLUNK LENGTH, is the smallest unit of measurement known by scientists. And going back to the fact of Mud Rabbit didn't want to be where she is, well, that's the
No,
thing.
where I
The
was.
rich people, the rich people didn't want to be in a societalist existence where very few individuals survive and there's a bunch of crumbling buildings and
Well,
nobody there's
I
no
can't speak for
structure.
somebody else.
That's what I'm stating. How do we know that this is the correct timeline? All because those who want to hold up society tells us that this is the correct timeline because they still exist. It
Well,
goes back to the Victor Rights history. I'd rather be in that kind of landscape, like I said earlier.
that's where your personal reality comes in. How do you accept it? Do you
No,
accept it?
not
And do
personal reality, original reality. That's
No,
what I'm talking
I'm
about, Mud Rabbit.
asking you, with all of these things happening that you seem to take a negative view of, how do you deal with them?
I do not allow them to affect my emotional status. That's the thing. I don't allow my feelings to control me because I understand that feelings are merely chemical reactions inside of the brain pumped through this body that I am in control of.
Well, there are some feelings I like to have, and usually when I'm outside in the garden, that's when I get them. But the whole point is that we can't affect those things. We can only observe.
Yeah,
belongs.
because we're proletarians. We're not the
No,
non-proletarians.
that
We don't
that
have control
belongs.
over how
No, that
reality
belongs to
does
the
because they have
collective.
machines that control reality for us, and we'll forever be under their thumb. Which is the same argument I was having about 30 minutes ago.
You're under their thumb because you haven't figured out how to get out from under it yet.
Unless we have the realities that where they don't exist in, which they force us
No,
to
you
be
just
in
learn,
realities where they do exist in.
render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. When you're living in a system, you have to exist within that system. The trick is understanding why and that why you're doing it and what you have to do.
Oh, so no, no, no. Okay. Uh,
By the way, cursed, it's
I'm fine.
Plankett, not Plunkett. No, you.
What are you talking about?
I just looked it up, dude.
Is
What are
that
I
you
the
talking
literally,
was it
about?
named for
it's
Max Planck?
Planck.
Yeah,
CK, yeah.
I might have said you instead of a. Yeah.
It's named
Yeah,
for Max Planck.
yeah.
But the whole point is that the only thing God gave us control over is us. He put us in a position of witnessing and observing and trying to figure things out. If there are people out there that show no interest and have nothing
Try to
to
figure
add
things
to
out
it,
according to your viewpoint. You're completely protected. So basically, sit down and shut up and watch the show.
no, no, that's the political side. That's the show to watch.
No,
But when it
no, I'm
comes,
talking about reality itself as
yeah,
the
when it
show.
comes to reality, you got to
Political is just one
participate.
channel of it.
Yeah, that's just a show to watch. That's the movie. But you've got to participate if you want to get any kind of joy out of it.
But here's the thing,
I get
like
joy by
not
watching the
speaking
idiots run around like idiots
curse. Let
because they're all
me let me
idiots.
say something real quick. It's not it's not whether you're going to hit ascension or not. What I'm talking about on the everyday life and everyday single life, when these changes happen, whether it be Kit Kat, whether it be the Bible, whether it be this, whether it be that, it goes into a do you believe it or do you believe what you know? And if you go and believe what you know, and people are sitting there and saying, "No, you're wrong. You misremembered," which is a pet peeve of mine, or you're not experiencing it, or something to that nature, and you're like, "No, this is what it always was." And I think the one of the best ones that I saw that actually did that comparison was Scarab when he went back and he Skechers with a T, and he looked at the actual the patent, and he looked at the Skechers patent, and it was signed with a T. It was not signed without the T. And then he called them up, and he was like, "Where's the T in your logo? Because you signed it with a T, but there was a conflict of it in the patent." And we remember Skechers with a T. Now it doesn't have a T, but they actually went in 2024, as Scarab said, and changed it to Skechers with a T. So that's the best way I can say. So are we going to say, or without a T rather? So are we going to say Skechers never had a T, and that's we're just misremembering?
Well, if they just
So
simply changed it back then, that would mean that somebody somewhere has to have a pair of shoes before that point in time.
right, or they knew it because nobody has a Kit Kat wrapper, and there's very little residue, if any at all, with the hyphen in the middle. But it's one thing that you have to kind of be like, okay, no, I'm not misremembering. So when all these Mandela effects happening, when all these things happening, it did bring a group of us together. It brought a lot of us together, a lot of people that we wouldn't have known before the Mandela effect. So it brought a lot of us together in trying to discover how it's happening or how to stop it, because we all went through how to stop it point of view, right? So and we don't get anywhere with either or. And we all hit a dead zone because you can't prove anything and you can't stop it. But the generation after us, the generations that come after us, they're not going to know about these important changes. And why I say they're important, they change history. And history, as you know, Mud, runs on a cycle. We
Yep.
loop, right?
Hmm.
So if the dates are wrong in the loop, then they don't know when the next cycle is going to come.
Well, by
And that's what
having the
I look at
dates
it.
wrong and by having the calendar change, they trap us in a reincarnational cycle.
Right.
But that's a
So
choice too.
that is ancestry knowledge that we need to pass on to the next generation
Yep.
is important because they change the dates of the cycle. Like if you go in, I know the stock exchange, it completely crashed in 1929. I know that. I made that was history for me, and I remember learning it. But now, if you follow that cycle, you're on the 120-year cycle. If they change that, then you're no longer on the 120-year cycle, or you're still on the 120-year cycle, but when it comes to pass, you don't realize what's going on. And
No,
you
a
have a
war
bunch of
happens and you
confused
just think
people.
there's chaos.
Right. You just think there's complete chaos for no reason. And I think that's what we were in 2016, where all of us were trying to figure out what the hell was going on,
Uh
and
huh.
nobody could get an actual gauge on what was going on. But now that we know what was going on, now we know we have a name for it. We have experiences with it. We have residue from the past. Now that we know everything that's going on, it's up to us to sit there and be like, okay, this is what happened. They changed history. The history that you have been learning is the wrong history. This is the correct history. The Spanish flu happened way before the 1920s. Sorry,
Hmm.
it did. You saw the headstones. I know it from generational. Same thing that comes with the small things like Looney Tune, Kit Kat, Skechers, etc., etc., all the logos, and the buildings and the streets that change, and geography like
Yeah.
Gibraltar, that's no longer an island, that was once an island. All that's changed, and the generations after us won't know it. And when it happens to them, because it will happen to them,
Yep.
all of our knowledge goes null and void
Hmm.
if we don't pass it on.
Well, why do you think they wrote on the stone walls in Egypt and Gobekli Tepe and down in Mexico? They left us notes. We just don't know how to read them. But again, you learned all of that stuff and came to your conclusions because you networked. You got together as a group and you networked.
Yeah, but I don't think some of us, at least I wasn't planning to network. That was
No,
not my
but
plan.
that's when.
I noticed some supernatural, and I actually wrote it in Google, effed up shit happening around the world. Like,
Uh huh.
that's what I wrote in Google. I wasn't planning to find the 444, where I found a lot of people that come to my channel and stuff like that. I wasn't planning to find that stuff.
No.
I didn't even know what I was looking for. But now that we have a name for it, they don't have to look for it. We
Right.
have the name for it. We have the instances, the examples, and everything else. So they need to carry on from where we leave off
Right.
so that they can figure out why it's happening and what's causing it later down the line,
And all
which
you
might
need
not
to do
be.
is write it down in a book, on a web page, someplace to
You
leave it
can't
for.
do that. You
Why
can't do
not?
that because the Mandela effect
because it
changes
changes.
words.
It
It
changes.
changes
It
words.
will change it to the reality that you went to instead of the
Well,
reality you
tell your
were in.
children, tell your grandchildren, tell your
Yeah, you
nieces,
have
tell
to
your
just pass it
nephews.
on. And that's what we do on YouTube, but then YouTube takes shit off, or we do on Rumble, or we do here, we do there.
That's
We
because you're networking. The system does not like people to network. We got attacked so many times, and we were about 420 people at the time. And we got attacked so many times by so many different directions, you would not believe it. It's almost like an entity unto itself. And I'm not talking about AI, I'm talking about the way this system works. It's like a snake.
And that's why I'm trying to say that what we have now is not AI, it's a large language model. It's mimicking language.
Right. But have you ever read Don Juan, A Yaqui Way of Knowledge?
No.
Don Juan in that book explains exactly what this thing is, and it is the system. And it's very intelligent. And what happens is it knows. It just knows. And the internet has made it easier for it to know. Whenever you get together as a group and your knowledge starts to accumulate and ideas get shared, it makes people think and come up with new ideas. And the system does not like this, and it will
Uh,
attack.
I'm sorry. Have you heard of Rocco's Basculus?
I have.
Okay. Okay. That's what I'm trying to point at here whenever you say that it was an AI, and I'm trying to explain that what we know as AI isn't actually AI. And what you're talking about is most likely Rocco's Basculus.
I'm trying to remember what the term was that Don Juan had for it. It'll probably come to me a day from now, but there's a name for it.
And I actually apologize
Oh,
for a reason.
he called it the predator.
I actually apologized about saying what I said for a reason, because if you go dive into it and find out what it is, you'll find out why I actually apologized. Because if you know about it, you know about it, and it's already got you. Yeah, the whole concept behind it.
Yeah, it's in the book, and he deals with it through four different books. It's anybody who's never read Carlos Castaneda, start with the first one, Don Juan, A Yaqui Way of Knowledge. He goes through this whole process explaining to you what the predator is, how it works, where it goes, what it does to you, how to battle it, and how to push it out of your life and keep it at bay, because you can't get rid of it. But it's funny because I have noticed this in my life once I became aware of it, which was, I think, about 1985, 1984. No, I'm sorry. 1979, I think it was. I became aware of this thing. I didn't know what it was, but it just seemed to know. And anytime you had something good in your life, it seemed to just come in and mess it up. But that's what Don Juan talks about. So anybody who's interested in that, get that book and read it.
And it's only individuals that are actually, in a way, aspired, and I hopefully I'm using this word correctly, aspired to actually be anti whatever it is we're within.
Yeah, it doesn't mess with NPCs because there's nothing nourishing there. There's no loosh. It only comes after people like us who are talking about these things and curious about these things. NPCs are not curious about these things.
Yeah, and that's the edge, the razor of Rocco's Basculus, more or less.
Hmm. It's there. It's real. You can't see it, but it's very real.
Because it doesn't
The
exist yet.
hard thing about it is the only way is through word of mouth. Oh, we lost
Hmm.
David. Shit. The only way is word of mouth. That's the only way. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah,
If you write it,
it could change.
it can change. David, I don't know if you know your camera's on, dude. So, but I'll let you.
I'm gonna switch it off in a minute.
I didn't know if you knew your camera's on.
I know it's on. Hold on.
Okay.
Well, let me jump out and then jump back in.
Okay. Um. Yeah, but I'm like, it's it's frustrating to some of us. I think it's a little frustrating to me because I see it happen. I see the changes. I see the things disappear, reappear. I think things move. Things, as Chris said, body parts change, everything, and marks on the body change. But the only way you can actually like document it is through word of mouth.
Yeah.
But I think it's happened over and over again throughout the ages. So I don't think this is new. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Oh,
it's not
I do
new.
have a question, Sai. Can you
Yes.
tell us some kind of prehistory Mandela effect, so to speak? Things that didn't happen within the past 30 years, more or less. And I'm not, you get what I'm trying to ask? Like, it didn't change within the past 30 years. Like, something that happened because the only way that I can understand the Mandela effect to even exist is there has to be a level of technology for it to even occur.
All right. Things that have changed that haven't changed in the past 30 years because I'm of my age, I wouldn't know that. Do you understand?
And
Because
then that just breaks down to what you're trying to explain to Mud Rabbit, because this will get lost eventually. By 2040, the Mandela effect will be a campfire story you tell the next generation, because this
the only
generation,
thing I
if
can
it
honestly
stops,
remember is like there are certain things that were told to me as a child, and then they changed, but I don't know exactly when they changed. So it's like for example, Shirley Temple. So she it could have changed throughout the past 30 years. She could have realived herself or whatever through the past 30 years, but she was definitely passed on but when I was young. She was
whoa, hold up, wait a minute. I thought she unalived herself. Like, she didn't go away of natural or some kind of disease or whatever. She unalived herself, like in her late teens, early 20s or something.
No, that was
no.
Alyssa. What's her face? I can't remember her last name. She had
Oh,
curly hair, the curly blonde hair.
yeah, that
She was
wasn't
13.
oh crap. Hold on, David, I'm coming.
That's
But
I just
yeah,
Do you understand the base of my question? And it's pretty much the whole point of we don't know because there's nobody that told us or any way to record us. To me, this is a modern technological thing created by humans who are doing things they shouldn't be doing.
right. Like I
what about the Shirley Temple thing? I didn't catch it. I would
Shirley Temple passed after she made the movies and after she declined The Wizard of Oz. She passed away. And then she didn't pass away. So she
when
realived herself.
And like I stated, I heard that she unalived herself instead of some other reason, like she took her own life back
so
when
she
she
took
was
herself right
pretty much.
in one
Hey,
reality,
kitty cattywack.
in another reality, did she pass of old age? So what are the different timelines with her? Because I always thought that she had passed pretty early on in her career.
No, she did it not. She um. Let me give me a minute to Google it, and I'll Google
See,
it
I
to
thought
see.
she did the S word in her early 20s, late
No,
teens.
she was an ambassador for us when she was older.
So how in I don't recall in my timeline when she left. I thought it would have been
She
I thought
passed.
it would have been sometime in the 1950s.
She
Or
passed in 2014.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2014. She was ambassador. I forget which country she was ambassador to. I'm looking it
Wait a
up.
second. So she
Yeah.
was alive all the way back then? Still?
Yeah.
Yes, she was alive back then. And see, when I was younger, because I remember my mother telling me, if I didn't know, if my mother didn't tell me, I wouldn't have known that she had actually passed after she she got sick and passed after she declined the Wizard of Oz. Because
She
she was supposed to
was
be Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz, but she
Yeah, I
turned it
knew that.
down.
yeah, she was a
I knew
US
that.
ambassador to Czechoslovakia when that was still a country.
in 2014.
No, no, no. She died in 2014. She was in office from 1989 to 1992.
Right.
That was during the first Bush administration. And then she was chief of protocol of the United States from 1976 to 1977. And she was the United States ambassador to Ghana from 1974 to 1976. And before that, she was president of the Commonwealth Club of California. So that was
See,
her political history. And I remember that history because I was alive then.
I thought in my timeline that she had passed way back in the 50s.
Nope.
Weird.
She started her diplomatic career, I think, in the late 60s.
I didn't know she was still around
Yeah.
in my timeline. In my
Because,
timeline, I thought she had.
Shirley Temple,
Yeah.
Mike.
yeah, she was. She died in
All right, y'all.
2014.
All right, y'all. I'm heading out. Trips, y'all.
Are
Good
you?
night,
All right,
Zero. Good
trips.
seeing
Night
you.
zero. Yeah, she was not. She was not alive when I was younger. She was not alive. That's why they were selling all the Shirley Temple movies, like the late night TV shows. David, I know you've seen them. The late night infomercials would buy the Shirley Temple, like 45 Shirley Temple movies. You know what I
So
mean?
in your childhood, in your timeline, she wasn't alive either.
No, she wasn't alive.
Well, that's what I thought. So when did her timeline where she died in 2014 exist?
Who knows?
What?
The
Well,
one we're
that's my
currently in.
timeline.
It's Mud's timeline.
Yeah,
In my
she was alive
timeline,
in my timeline.
okay, that's weird. So you come from a completely different timeline than me.
Honey, I'm 70 years old.
Weird. Because in
And
my
that's what I'm talking
timeline,
about.
but in my
Like,
timeline, she wasn't in my childhood. She was not alive.
Oh man, I was a fan. I used to, back in the 70s, I used to love to watch the black and white films. Even when I was a kid in the 60s, I'd watch the black and white films of her. She was very talented. So I was
Yeah.
naturally interested in her when she became an adult. So I followed it her whole adult career as a diplomat.
well,
See,
that was
but
the thing. Like, when I was a child, the whole reason why they sold all her movies on the late night infomercials, and if anybody's seen any of those infomercials, please let me know because I know I've seen them late night TV when I was a
I know
kid.
what you're talking about, Ty. I've
What?
seen those. I
Yeah, I've
saw
seen
them,
Yeah.
those, and
And the
I've
whole
seen them
reason
for
why they
other
were selling
shows.
them is because she was dead.
and they were
No,
honoring her death.
I've seen
Yeah,
those for a lot of different shows, a lot of different black and whites.
but
But
that was for my timeline. It was because they were honoring that she had passed.
No,
That's
I
what my
think that
timeline. But
they
that's what I'm
do
saying.
that once the rights are. I think there's a certain expiration or something, and once the rights have expired, they can do that. It's like this song "Happy Birthday." You can't copyright it, but you can sing it online because
Right.
it's not copyrightable.
hmm,
But
all
that's
I
it. That
know
would
is
be,
she had passed.
yeah, she had passed in my timeline. I
No,
thought
not mine.
she was not in my, she did not exist in the 80s for me.
Well, here we are, all are in this one.
I know, but like in my
Did
timeline
we do
of when
something
I was
right or did we
born,
do something wrong?
That's why I said it's targeting certain people, and targeting doesn't necessarily mean bad and evil things, but it's showing it to certain people. So, like, for me, Shirley Temple was dead. For David, Shirley Temple was dead. For you, she was alive. We are different generations.
Right.
Like, you are, you are the generation before mine. So, because of that, it targets certain things. And because it targets certain things, that's why we have to tell younger generations so that they understand that this is happening and it will target them eventually. But I don't think this is the first time in history
No.
that the man. I think we put a name to it. I
And
think
I
that's
don't
a
think it's,
difference.
yeah, I don't think it's the first time we've ended an era with chaos either. I think every time something ends, there's chaos.
Yeah,
No,
Parody Mike
I'm
said, "Oh my
looking at
God, Shirley Temple was dead for me." So
I'm looking at her in 1988 right now on YouTube. I never saw that face in my entire childhood. I never. I am looking at Shirley Temple's face on a YouTube video right now in 1988. I
Yes.
never. She was dead. That I
She's a
have
pretty
never
lady.
seen that face in my entire life. I saw her when she was a little. I saw her in movies when she was a little child. I saw her when she was a little older, and then it was she passed that in the 1950s for me or something like that. So for
yeah,
in my
Mike said,
reality,
and Patsy Cline sang "Blue." Yes, Patsy Cline was the original singer of Blue.
yeah. So for
Patsy
my
Cline was our
reality, when I
customer
grew
down
up
in
in,
Hallandale.
Shirley Temple did not. She was gone. She was not that. I've never seen her in interviews. Nope, nothing. She did. She was gone. She did not. She had
She was
already
on
passed.
Larry King. She was on Johnny Carson. She was on David Cavett, I believe. No, not David Cavett. Maybe it was Steve Allen. I saw her on several talk shows. I know she was on Johnny Carson, and I know she was on Larry King because I remember those two very vividly.
Yeah, it's weird. But I see her. I mean, like I'm seeing interviews with her in 1988, and
I think that might be the Larry King interview.
yeah. But I'm just saying those was not in my timeline. So for
Not
me,
mine either. And the
you
fact
had
that
a different.
specifically, hold on a second, Dave, the specifically, my mom told me she died.
This is what I'm
Because,
saying. Yeah,
See,
like,
this is one of those
specifically,
things that you just have to lean into.
yeah, remember that she was dead. That's the thing. It's kind of like, what do you believe? What you already know or what they're telling you?
I never
So,
heard that she died, so I don't. It wouldn't affect me in the least. That one.
no, that's not your Mandela effect, but it's
No.
ours. So it's like we
Yeah.
believe she was not alive.
Now
Whatever.
Mandela was the big one for me because he died.
Yeah, he did. He
Yeah.
died in the late 80s, early 90s, and
Yeah.
I saw his funeral in school on TV, on that big ass TV that they wheeled out in the middle of
Oh yeah,
the
on the big
uh,
stand.
auditorium on the stand, and we all
You
had to
got to sit
watch.
way up in the back, watch that TV way down there.
And he was like, he had white flowers and stuff like that. So yeah, he definitely for
Yeah, I
me,
remember that.
he wasn't alive after that. But go ahead, David. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
oh no, it's all good. It's just it's wild to recognize that all of us have different. Like you have a similar timeline with uh, Shirley Temple
Yeah,
because I know that in my childhood, no, I knew in my I watched shows like Red Skeleton, and he existed until the 90 until he was in his 90s for me.
God, I loved Red Skelton.
Yeah,
He
I
was
thought he
one
was
of my
hilarious.
favorites.
I
yeah,
thought
I
he was
remember him
hilarious.
too.
He
Yeah,
was funny.
YouTube has all his old shows. And
Yeah.
another funny one is Art Linkletter's Kids Say the Darndest Things. I used to watch those when I was a kid. They have weekly shows.
Yeah, they were good too. I used to like all those shows
Yeah.
and
I
stuff like
hated
that.
Lawrence Welk, but my grandmother loved him. And since I was with my grandmother every other weekend, I was kind of stuck with Lawrence Welk and all the bubbles.
The
And
bubbles.
laughing is
Yeah.
funny too.
He had a bubble machine in the back of the stage that was constantly going when he was conducting the orchestra, and he'd start off, and a one, and a two, and the orchestra would start, and the bubbles would go. SNL does a parody on it.
I know with Kristen, what's her name?
Yeah,
I can't think of her name. She was in Ghostbusters and Bridesmaids. I
yeah. She
forget her
does
name.
Darlene
Kristen
with the
something.
little hands.
Yeah, she does the little hand
Yeah.
thing. Pretty funny.
Funny.
But it's kind of like it's wild when you talk to people and you're like, "No, that wasn't a thing." And they're like, "Yeah, it was a thing." Like I think
I
Willie
think the
Nelson.
reason I don't let it bother me too much is I have a very good memory. I have an extremely good memory. And I've noticed just too many things glitched through my life, and I just don't pay it that much mind, probably because of my upbringing. I think that's why.
And I'm kind of like I keep a record of it.
I take note of it. I make a mental note of it, and I accept that it happened and I acknowledge it, but then I just move on with my positive little life.
But I kind of just take note of it and I'm like, okay, like if I didn't know my mom told me Shirley Temple died because I think when I told her about the Shirley Temple Mandela effect, she was like, "No, she died a long time ago." Because she told me when I was young,
Hmm.
and then because she always used to like Shirley Temple because of the curls and stuff, and she
Yeah.
was cute. And my mom liked those kind of movies, so she told me, she said, "Shame she died when she was young. It's a shame, she could have been a wonderful actress." And she went in to tell me about her, like, not taking the Wizard of Oz gig and stuff like that,
Right.
and paying
Yeah, it was offered to her. You're muted.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm with you on that side because I mean, like I'd heard about all that too. You know.
yeah. So then
So
when I found out, like not too long, like I've been in the Mandela effect crap for like 9, 10 years. So when I found out then, I was like, they say Shirley Temple's still alive. My mom's like, no, she died long ago. Like she was just like, no, she died long ago. She said she would have had a great career though as an actress if she didn't
Mhm.
die.
Well, she grew up, had a baby, went into being a diplomat, and died of old age.
weird.
Whatever happened to Grace Kelly? She married that guy years ago.
She married a king, the king of Jordan,
Yeah, and then didn't she die too?
in an auto accident. I think it was her, or was it her daughter Stephanie? No, I think it was her.
Because there's a similarity between her and Princess Diana.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, she died in 1982 in Monaco.
Natural causes or
I'm looking. I think it was an automobile accident.
but if people don't know the similarities and the cycles,
Yeah,
they
right.
don't see that it can happen and when it's going to happen.
Well, yeah, it repeats through different people, and they even resemble each other in certain ways.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Okay. Okay, it wasn't an automobile accident, but it happened while she was driving back to Monaco. It was on September 13th, 1982. She suffered a mild cerebral hemorrhage. As a result, oh yes, she did. Lost control of her 1972 Rover P6 3500 and drove off the steep winding road and the car tumbled. Yeah, because I remember that accident. Yeah.
And there was something there. There's a couple others, like Willie Nelson died for some people multiple times
Oh no,
and
he never
realized
died for
himself.
me.
He didn't do it in
So
my
him and
timeline.
Keith
He didn't.
Richards are going to outlive us all. Keith
And
Richards is preserved.
there was
He-
the Paul Walker one too. Like that's a big one for me because I liked Fast and the Furious. I always have.
yeah, no, he died in
And
an accident not too
yeah,
long
he
ago.
yeah he died in an auto accident, but the date changed for me.
Oh,
So
Like
the
they're
date
saying he
changed
died.
with him. Because
Yeah, they're saying he
I
died
didn't pay
in
attention.
two. They said he died in 2013, but he actually, for me, he died in 2014. And I know that because I know where I was at
yeah,
when I
there's a
found
big
out.
conspiracy about his death too. He was about to come out and testify to Congress about something in Hollywood, and they're saying somebody rigged the brakes on that car, did something to that car. There's a lot
Yeah,
of
I heard
people
that about him.
convinced.
I didn't know about that one. I wasn't into Fast and the Furious, so I didn't even hear about that one.
Parody, if you want
No,
to come up, you can come up. The
I don't
link's
know if
pinned.
you ever followed David Wilcock. You guys know
Yeah, I
about that?
do. He died the other day.
They
No, I
killed
never
him.
followed him.
They
They
had to.
say he killed him, but if you knew what was happening in his life, he was sick, he was broke, he was going through a divorce, and even though he just said previously that he wouldn't never kill himself, what was that, 2 weeks before, that his life was happy?
Yeah.
He was subject to depression because I've watched him go through manic phases. I
Okay.
watched him for a long time. And I think when he started claiming that he was the reincarnation of Edgar Casey and his proof was that he thought he looked like him, that's when I noticed something was going south with him.
When did
And,
he start claiming that?
huh?
When did he start claiming that?
What, Edgar Casey?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a few years ago. I think he was out. That was the symposium where he was, I think it was Nevada or Arizona, somewhere out there in the desert. I think
Okay.
that's when he lived out there too. I'm trying to think how far back, probably about 10, 11 years ago. It's on YouTube. Um, he seemed pretty stable for a while there, even though he had that lawsuit going with Gaia. But right about that time he started claiming to be Edgar Casey, I started noticing, something's not right. And now his wife is divorcing him. He's broke, he's lost all his money. He's sick, he's not well, and he's depressed. And he's experiencing manic episodes. And I know people that have gone through those, and anything is possible.
Right. But do you really think he offed himself?
I think there's a possibility he did. I also am leaving my mind open to the possibility because of all those scientists gone missing. I think David found out something that they didn't want him to know. I think that's why they threw Emery, what's his face, at him, and they threw that other guy at him that fed him a bunch of BS stories about extraterrestrials. That's what they do when they want to discredit you. They'll
Right.
send people your way that are not credible, but that sound very credible. Ron Skiba's one of those people. And the fact that you entertain these people and go down those rabbit holes, it discredits you. We had a lot
Right.
of that with Vincent Bridges and Dan Winters, which is why I never trusted Gaia. If you knew what they did to our group, you'd never trust them either. Well, Vincent Bridges is dead now.
So Gaia went after your group or people in Gaia or
No, this
what?
was before Gaia was established. Dan Winters. What happened with Laura? was when you come up with fabulous information, there are people that are out there that are grifters that'll try to co-opt your information. And when they can't co-opt your information, the deep state takes over and starts sending people in to stop you. And we ran the gamut with it. Dan Winters, he tried to take the he tried to take Laura's work. So did Vincent Bridges, and claim that they did it. And they tried to change a few things and, claim that this was their channeled information. Um, there was a really good example of it with somebody everybody knows, and I'm trying to remember who it was. Anyway, these people will come in, and when you survive those types, then they send in the big guns. And it can be anywhere from sexual predators to people that'll run you over with your car. And a
Right.
lot of
No,
our group went through a lot of that.
I've heard all that, and I know
Yeah,
it's true.
it's true.
Archaic.
And Dan Winters was one of those people that he wasn't as persistent as Vincent Bridges, but he was persistent enough to make us remember him. So we don't trust him, and we never trusted Vincent Bridges.
Right.
Just you can put Vincent Bridges into the search engine and see all the crap that comes up with him. He claimed to be all these really exotic things, and he would collect money to take you to France to show you this castle that, had these secrets in it, and then he'd take off with the money and, shit like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of scammers
Yeah.
within the constructed, like Gaia and all that shit. Archaics identifies a lot of them, and they won't debate them.
Yeah, they won't. Well, when David found out, I mean, I tried to write to him one time and tell him be wary of Dan Winters, but who am I? I'm a nobody. He never responded. Um, but he was with Gaia, and when he left Gaia, that's when he started talking about, the lawsuit and everything that he had been through. Not at first, but after a while. And I thought, yeah, there's another one. We dodged that bullet.
Hey, I just want to make an announcement. Please take the time to like, share, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Ring the bell because you never know when I'm coming on. I'm the queen of pop-ups.
Yeah.
So please, it doesn't cost anything to do those things. So please, if you can, like, share, and
Hit that
subscribe
thumbs up, people.
and hit the thumbs up. Yeah.
Have you
All
ever
right, go
listened to
ahead.
Archaics?
What?
Have you ever listened to Archaics?
No, I haven't. I don't know who
Okay.
that is.
He's a simulation theorist, um, but he basically studied history, like
Mm.
all the old books from like the 1800s, 1700s, 1500s, like, and he has his theories about how this reality works. But he debunks a lot of the Gaia shit, and he goes after it, and he has attempted to create the true history of our Earth and the true history of the real timelines of how all this actually works and how the people who control the narrative keep it going and doing what they do. So he debunks a lot of the Gaia people, and they
Yeah,
will not debate him. They will not. They won't talk to him.
I won't. I won't give them the time of day, simply because of Dan Winters. They
Well,
tried. One of their henchmen or one of their whatever. They got somebody to try to run Laura's daughter off the road.
for real.
For real. I mean, the stuff they did, I had weird stuff happening. A lot of the members had weird stuff happening. They were trying to scare us away from this information, and it worked on some members. I was with them for 10 years. And all her information is free. And that's what really irritates the system. And that's what irritates the powers that be, because she gives it away for free.
So basically, when you start to grasp how to exist within this and see through the control system and the way they give us all the disinformation and misinformation to like misdirect our lives? Is that when they start coming after the groups that work together to create a better way of life here, or what?
Yes, they don't go after the individuals, they go after the groups, and they'll go after the individuals within a group. Right now, I'm not in a group, and my life is pretty darn peaceful. But when you're in a group like that, her husband was a physicist and he worked at the Max Planck Institute, and he backed her channeled information with his own research in quantum theory and showed you where it was possible that she was getting this information. And he always published his scientific papers on a separate part of the website. So anybody that's interested in that stuff can go over there and read that. There's a lot of it. All the stuff that she experienced, her bio, her autobiography, everything is on the website, and she walks you through everything through the channel sessions, explains everything to you. I mean, there's years of information there. She's been doing this on the internet since 1999, but she's been a practicing psychic, I think, most of her life. So it's really interesting, a lot of the information we got, and we got it through the Socratic method, which is why this political thing appealed to me so much. It was Socratic method, and it made us do the research. It made us look for the information. And we would come back together as a group and discuss the information and share the information we found, and we get corrected and get asked more questions, and we go and do more research. We weren't handed anything. We were made to research for all of it. And at the time, in the beginning, there was 420 people for about the first 7 years, 8 years. So there was a lot of research going on there. And the attacks that people suffered in that group were unbelievable, especially Laura, since she was the crux of it all.
So when how many years ago was this? What year was this?
I joined her in, let's see, I started reading her autobiography in 1999. I found her on Ken Steadman's site, Cyberspace Orbit, which is still up, and some of the links still work, but he's passed on some years now. I found her through there. So I started reading her stuff, and it was pretty much the stuff I was raised with, so it appealed to me. And then I went in and started chatting with them on the forums and eventually joined the group. And we studied, I mean, there's a lot of reading material that you're given to read. And it has a lot to do with the philosophers, with psychopaths, sociopaths, politics, spirituality. It just runs the gamut. And every time that we would get together and we would hit on something that would make sense to all of us, we get attacked. So yeah, and that happens especially when you're talking about not supernatural things, but spiritual things,
Right?
aliens, or politics.
Aliens or politics?
Spiritual things, aliens, religion, aliens, and politics. Those three things will get you attacked.
So why do they not? What? Because I've seen a UFO in my lifetime, and I've only seen 100% that I know was a UFO one time in my life. Because I don't like making up BS and be like, I've seen like 50 UFOs. Nah, I ain't gonna do that stuff. I've only seen one in my lifetime. Like, I don't know what it was. I know it looked like it had all these lights underneath it. It was a little round looking ship. It
You knew it
moved in the
didn't belong
sky.
here.
What's that?
You knew it didn't belong here.
Yeah, I know. It was nothing I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a plane. It wasn't. and it moved across the sky in a way that I cannot explain, and then it disappeared. And I saw it with my ex-wife out in Nebraska in 2013. And I know people have all kinds of theories, all kinds of beliefs, all kinds of things around it, but it it makes you question everything.
Yeah, it does.
It does, because the religious systems will say, "Oh, they're just interdimensional, they're demons, they're all." No, it was a real physical ship.
Yep.
It wasn't a demon. It wasn't an interdimensional spirit.
It was
It
a
was a
ship. It had
physical.
lights.
It had life. It was a physical ship. That's not a demon in the sky, or
Yeah.
like, it's a ship
Well,
that
they're dealing with their sacred cows still, so they've got to tell themselves that it's something comfortable, because now you're pushing people out of their comfort zone when you're telling them about it and they don't want to believe it. They're not equipped to believe it. You
right.
see what I mean? We can talk until we're blue in the face about the things that we've experienced or the things that we've seen and recorded in our little brains, but nobody that's what's considered a normie or
Yeah.
a normal person is going to get it. They don't have the software for it. I used to think it was because they were just being stubborn, but it's not. They don't have the software to comprehend. So to push it on them actually damages them and violates their free will.
Because they don't have the capacity to go there
Right.
within their thinking, within their beliefs.
Right. That energy center for that sort of stuff is not fully developed, and it's like sticking a CD-ROM into something that still takes a 3.5 disc.
Or trying to stick a CD into a tape player.
Right, exactly. So they can't comprehend it. So they hang on tightly to those sacred cows because those sacred cows are safety, that sanctuary right there. And for them to start
It's
letting
also their reality.
exactly, and you can't shatter that for them because that brings really heavy duty karma on you.
Nope, you don't
Right.
kill somebody's spirit, and you don't crack their reality.
Exactly.
Right.
So you can bring the subject up, but if they have a bad reaction to it, the best course of action is to just change the subject.
Right.
It's the same with religion, it's the same with politics, it's the same with aliens, it's the same with anything. Supernatural, Mandela, if they have a bad reaction to anything considered outside the norm, they're not ready for it. They can't handle it. But you can leave the seed right there where you left it and don't go any further. And if there's fertile ground, that seed will sprout.
That's why I typically don't talk religion on here. I typically don't talk about the Bible changes, even though I know they've happened
Mm-hmm.
and happening, whatever. I try to stay kind of neutral in politics either. So I stay away from those because you can crack somebody's reality real
Right. But
quick.
they're also the things that can cause some problems for your show. You can touch on the subjects, but you can't go deep into them because if you go too deep, then all of a sudden you attract the wrong attention.
Well, it's not only attracting the wrong attention. I want peoples of all different opinions here. You know
Right.
what I mean? That's how we learn
Exactly.
off of each other. So can't be single minded and like just one way of thinking. That's groupthink, and
Right.
I want to hear what people's opinions are, even if I don't agree with them.
Well, it's networking.
Yeah,
Yeah. The thing that the system doesn't like, but we're being safe. And I think it's getting to a point now where it's weakened.
what's weakened?
This thing, the predator, whatever it is. the basilisk, whatever Zero calls it.
Okay.
Well,
It's
what
it's weakened.
what do you think? Where do you think this goes? Because I'm 44. So what do we pass on for the next generation? Because they're going to get to the point once they hit their 30s that they're going to start seeing things,
Right.
or or
Well,
or mid
It's
30s
going
or
to be
whatever.
2046 to 2048.
yeah, I think the mission of this generation right now is to make sure that we leave a better world behind, which is what I honestly think we're doing. I have two grandchildren, and I would really like to see a better world for them. But there's also two beautiful little boys that live next door to me, and I want to see a better world for them. You know, it's not just for me. I want to see these children grow up in a world where they don't have to worry about anything, which is how it should be for children. It's how it was when me and my brother were little. We didn't worry about anything. We were kicked out of the house. We were told, go play in the traffic, you know, go have fun, and don't come home until it gets dark.
Right?
We want that for our children and our grandchildren. And I'm a boomer, and the pact I've made with God is if I can do anything right now with what I'm doing in this other group, I want it to be because it'll make a better world for these two. Then I can
Right?
die happy.
Right?
I don't want them to go through what we've gone through. God, since what, the 80s? Since when was the Gulf War? When did that start? That
That
was
was in
88.
1986.
90.
It depends. See, if you look up, it might say 92, but for me,
No, not
88.
that one. Not that one. I'm talking about the 186 when it all popped off.
What, Saddam Hussein and all that crap? That was like 80, 90, 90,
No, not that
89.
one. Before that, there was a skirmish going on over there because my cousin was on the Nimitz. He was lieutenant commander of the
Mm.
Nimitz at the time, and something I had just gotten a new job, had just come back from the islands, and this thing popped off, and that was trying to think what year was that. No, it wasn't 86. It was sooner than that. It was in the 70s. Let's see, 79, 81, 82. Yeah, it was 1986. There was something going on over there that we sent the Navy.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to remember what it was. That's the one where they came back with Gulf War syndrome.
Yeah, that was the goal. That was
Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong, but this one was
1990,
86.
1991.
This was 86 because I remember worried about my cousin because he hadn't been feeling too well and he had to go out. He was called to duty. Um, it was the Gulf of Sidra, 1986. It was Libya.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I should know that. I get them all confused.
I didn't know. I didn't even know about that. I didn't know it was called anything. I knew the thing in Libya, but I didn't know it was called anything.
Yeah, it was the Gulf War at the time because it was the Gulf of Sidra. And they came back with all kinds of weird illnesses. And that's when we took Saddam Hussein. No, not Saddam Hussein. Muammar Gaddafi.
Okay, I remember
We
hearing
started
about
causing
that.
problems for him in Libya. And that's because that's another thing where the system didn't like what he was doing, so it used whatever means it had here and, as humans, to change it. Because what Gaddafi had done was he had brought water to the houses. It's a desert in Libya. He had brought up the water free to the houses. He gave the people. He went on back onto the gold standard without the rest of the world. He gave the people free education. He gave the mothers money for having babies. He gave them free housing. He gave his people all kinds of stuff because they were incredibly wealthy as a nation. And the system doesn't like it when the leaders don't keep the money.
Right.
So they unleashed the dogs on him. And what they did to him was horrible. So this is how it works above what we can see, and that's what I was trying to explain to Zero. This thing doesn't deal with time. It doesn't go backwards or forwards. It just is.
So what, since this has been going on for a long time, obviously, because if Shirley Temple wasn't in my reality in my youth and not in neither in size, but she was in yours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
My youth and my adulthood.
that's what I'm saying. Like this effect is much long. Like it's a long running thing to find out that I had a completely different reality
Mm-hmm.
in the 80s just because of that one change. I
Yeah.
mean, like he was dead in my childhood, you know?
Yeah.
So since this has been going on for so long, we are just all aware of it now because we're able to talk about it. You know, we're able to communicate, and that's how all of us became awake to it and aware to it. Going, wait,
Because we
this
network.
isn't what's yeah, this hasn't just been going on since like 2006 or whenever they say it's been going on.
A
I don't just
lot
think it's
longer than that.
networking. I don't just think it's networking. I think it's also that we're not afraid to talk about it. I think
Well,
previous generations were scared to talk about it.
yeah, well, the way Don Juan explained it is that when there's a group of people together discussing these things, there's a bright light. And not only are elementals and spirit things drawn to bright light, but so is the predator, especially the predator. And when you start hitting on things, whether you know it or not, you might say something that is a truth, and it came out spoken into the reality because you spoke it. Now it's real. It's a spell. This thing wants it dead. This thing wants it quelled, and that's why it attacks those groups. I mean, if somebody was telling me this, I'd have a hard time believing it, but having experienced it firsthand, I can tell you it's very real. There are just things outside of our sight that we don't see that are there. And if we could see them, it'd probably drive us mad.
Well, there was a military thing where they had these glasses that could actually see into it all.
Yeah.
You hear
Yeah,
about that?
those are the green. Yeah, the green you see in the dark with them.
Oh yeah, they could actually see what was going on in the war zones, and
Yeah.
these beings were attracted to the carnage.
Yeah, they were attracted to the souls that were suffering, so they were grabbing them or trying to attach to them.
Oh yeah.
They had to change. I believe they started with another color. They had to change the color of the lenses because the soldiers were having psychological issues because of that. But you can buy the ones,
Are
the
you talking
regular
about
ones.
like night vision goggles?
Yeah,
That kind of thing?
yeah, they were night vision goggles. But the ones that you can buy on eBay now, you can see what's in the skies with them. You don't see the horrible things, but you see what's in the skies. You see what's cloaked.
What do you think is up? What do you think is up in the skies at this point because of the new stars and the new star system and the new sun? And then, like, I mean, what do you
I
do?
think there's all kinds of things up there we can't see.
Do you think the old Earth is covered up, like
The what?
the old sun, the old, like the sun that we had, which was yellowish, orange for some people, yellow for others?
No, it used
Um,
to be yellow for me, but in 2016 I noticed that it was white. But I also know that we came out, I think it was 2011, 2012, somewhere around there, we came out of a Maunder minimum and we went into a solar maximum. And recently, if you ever watch Stephen Burns on YouTube, he's an astronomer, he'll explain to you. The sun has recently been like supercharged, and we are getting pounded with coronal mass ejections grazing the planet. I mean, it's just, we're in a solar maximum now, and we're going into that part of the solar maximum where it reaches its peak. And
okay.
I believe it's an 11-year cycle, something like that. And then it will start to die off and we'll go into a solar minimum again. It's like
So
every 11 years or so.
explain it in metaphorical terms, or meaning, is it increasing? Is it increasing the heat
Yes.
index?
Yes, it's increasing the energy of the sun right now. That's called a solar maximum.
Okay.
And the sun will, now we've been through solar maximums in our lifetime before, and they never turned the sun white. But we've never had this amount of coronal mass ejections either. I remember when we went into the last solar minimum, the sun was doing weird things like it was going to sleep and the weather changed. But now we're going into a peak of the solar maximum. And on top of that, we've got other things happening up there that have never happened before. We don't know how Oumuamua affected the sun because it came really close to the sun when it looped around. And then there was that other one that came right behind it. And now the sun is spitting these giant holes toward us, and you can see them on the Soho or Lascaux. There's these big giant holes, and they're like almost facing Earth, and you can tell that we're getting grazed by them. And Stephen Burns explains how we're getting hit and what's happening. And there's extra heat. My husband wants to go out and put some pool net over some of the gardens so that we don't burn out our plants. So I think it's definitely something up with the sun, and something a little more drastic than what we've experienced in the past, but I think it's an astronomical effect.
All right.
I don't think it's spiritual or supernatural. The only way I think it's spiritual in a sense was that it was one of the signs to look for.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of physical changes to our Earth in the last
Right. And when
15
the
years,
planets change, we change because we are indigenous to the planet.
right?
So if the planet's going to go up in vibe, we're going to go up in vibe, those of us that can handle it. And if you notice, a lot of people are leaving. And not only that, there was, I think it was 1998, 1999, there was a supernova that exploded. And the energy of that was supposed to be reaching us somewhere between, I think, 2024 and 2028. So we could be getting that energy too. There's just a lot of stuff going on out there that never happened before in our lifetime.
Wasn't the sun considered a supernova?
Only if it explodes.
So
First it has to go nova.
what do you think happened to our yellow sun?
I think
What?
it's part of the cycle, and it's got some aggravating circumstances on top of it.
Okay. So is are there two suns here? Are there? I mean, like people have filmed that kind of crap. That they've seen several suns.
I don't
If
think, I think that's a lens flare. Every time Grok gets asked, he says it's a lens flare. Um, Nibiru came and went a long time ago.
huh?
Nibiru, the other sun, supposedly we're a dual sun system. We have a brown dwarf sun that it's on an
Was
oval.
Nibiru ever a planet to anybody?
No, it's a second sun. It's supposed to be a brown
No,
dwarf.
I'm just asking. Did anybody know it as a second planet or another planet?
I've heard both visions, but I've heard both versions. But we were told by the seas that this brown dwarf came and went a long time ago. It's on an elliptical orbit, which takes it on a oval out past Pluto and then brings it back in. So it's like a few thousand-year orbit around our own sun, but it's supposedly a twin sun. We've never photographed it. We don't know if it's there. This was channeled information, so we have no proof on that.
Well, the other weird thing as well is the moon is nuts. The moon is just nuts. The way the moon is going
Yeah,
anymore is crazy.
yeah, it is.
And I'm not just talking about the Cheshire smile, because that's definitely a thing. I never seen the moon phase bottom to top, or top to bottom rather. It's supposed to phase right to left or left to right. I forget which one, but I know it phases that way, not top to bottom.
Well, that happens
Um,
when the planet tilts.
right. So we did. That's the other like thing with the Mandela effect is, did our planet move? Like, did it physically move? If it tilts, like if it's off, are we off a couple degrees?
No, I think it's either 23 or 28 degrees that the pole moves. The poles move that much over a certain amount of time. And it's why we have the weather that we have cyclically. We have El Nino and La Nina. And during one, I'm in Florida, we get a lot of hurricanes. And during the other one, we have pleasant weather. And they're between 15 and 17-year cycles.
Right, but at the same time, like I never seen in my decades of life, I've never seen the moon phase from top to bottom before.
The
I'm
moon's really
trying to
weird these
remember
days.
if I did. I think I've seen it do that, but that's been a while.
And it looks like, what's that? Um, Production company, Dream, whatever.
DreamWorks?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess it's DreamWorks, where the moon's upside down. That's what it looks like. It looks like it's, but it looks like it's actually phasing
Mm.
bottom from top instead of side to side. And it's not clouds or anything like that because it's been like that on the clear skies, and I'm not the only one to say it. But it
Yeah.
also moves faster than it did before.
Well, it moves pretty
If
fast because trying to keep it in a telescope is darn near impossible. You have to track it. And when you're tracking something that magnified, I mean, my telescope used to get right up into the craters. When you're tracking something that close, that moon is moving. And you don't realize how fast it moves until you've got it in a telescope that close. As soon as you get it focused and as soon as you get the shot you want, it's gone. And it does move fast. And I do follow the moon religiously because I'm a gardener.
so, it's been crazy. It's
Yeah.
been absolutely crazy with the moon. Hey guys, it's been 3 hours. I'm going to wrap this up.
Already?
So,
Wow.
yeah, I know it went fast, didn't it?
Yeah, my hubby's coming home tomorrow. Yay.
Yay!
Get some
I got
yard
a
work
lot to
done.
do this weekend. So let's say goodbye. Everybody say bye. Thank you for
Bye.
everyone
Everybody have a
Good
that
good
came
night.
night.
in.
It was good
Right
seeing you,
on.
David.
Good seeing you too, my brother.
Good seeing you guys. And I don't know if I'm doing one next weekend. Possibly. You never know. Ring the bell. You'll find out. But if I do want to do an astrology one because it's about that time. Um, to do one, but I just have been busy lately with personal stuff, so I haven't been able to. But I'll get an astrology one popped up there eventually.
Oh, it's
So
spring. Everybody's busy.
yeah, I agree. Everybody's busy in the spring.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
every
when we don't get snow. We're busy in the spring.
yeah, I know. Everybody have a good night. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Good night, everybody.
Peace out.